Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
If you really want to be one of the best brewers there is,
I stopped dressing all in plastic.
You better be brewing 5 to 6 times a week.
Every beer is made with love, and it begs to be appreciated.
I need something to kill the salmonella I'm kind of worried about in the eggs.
Do you find that that the hops kind of clash with the chicken embryo you put in there?
I might sleep here tonight.
It's a California king. There's plenty of room for both of us, Beavis.
How many of the brewers over there have seen your ass?
That's it. Someone's getting cut tonight.
All I have to say is, hey, McDowell, how you doing?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Yeah. Anybody ever notice we have a really long intro?
Yes.
It's long. It's like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like I've been sitting here since yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's also 10 years old, too.
Yeah. I was playing my iPod this weekend, and somehow there were some old shows loaded up. And I heard this weird show intro. I was like, "What kind of crap radio show is this?" And then my voice comes on with as the announcer. You know, ready for the next level, and I don't even know. I had to turn it off. I leaped across the room to turn it off quickly. It's like, God, this is why podcasts suck so bad. And then I realized it was us.
I'm so glad my show is wait.
Yeah.
Well, hope we got better.
Nate's been way too long. He forgot. Yeah, didn't even know where the button is anymore.
Listen, I always say this, but this week we really got a lot to do, so I'm just going to get right to it. I want to thank our sponsor, More Beer. Been our sponsor for, forever, really. You can go over to morebeer.com right now and check them out. We love those dudes, and they love us, too. They've been real good to us. So show them some love by shopping next time you need something homebrew related, or home coffee roasting related, or home winemaking related. Head on over to morebeer.com and give our friends a try. They're good people. Tonight on the program, Bay Area favorite, one of our favorites. If we were to have a top 3 list in the Bay Area, they'd be on it, right, Tasty?
They would be.
Like really high on it.
Yeah, they're on. Well, it's all like a tie. I mean, they're all.
Yeah,
once every one of your beers are good.
Yeah,
then you're on.
Then you're tied.
You're there. Yeah.
Cellarmaker Brewing Company's in the studio with us tonight. We got a bunch of their beer on tap. I'm drinking their Blood and Thunder
me too.
American IPA right now.
It's got some serious juice in it, buddy.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
Very good. It's not sweet, but it's very hop juicy. I like it.
Yeah.
Thundered it up for that one.
What's that? So what's the Thunder? What's that name about?
Yeah,
that's South African hops.
Oh,
that's the Thunder, I guess.
I thought it was.
Is it?
Yeah, there's South African hops and 2 different.
So what's the
varieties. The blood is the American hops.
Oh,
the South African farm workers. It's like blood diamonds.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to go political on us already.
Just Scott 5 minutes so I figured I would jump in.
Yeah,
I thought it was a World of Warcraft reference.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it could be all of it
because the horror. They say
blood, it is.
Blood and Thunder is like a war cry.
It is.
Yeah, and I was like, oh look, these fucking nerds. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. But now that I know it's just hops, I don't give a shit.
Connor can tell us for sure. He helped come up with a name on this.
Like when you say it's a war cry on World of Warcraft, you mean like when you sit there and you play with your headphones and microphone on and stuff, like you all go, Blood and Thunder!
No, like the ogres in the game say blood, like that's their like
I see.
racial war
But
cry.
you do wear the headset and the microphone, right?
No, I don't. No. I don't talk. I'm not on vent.
Oh,
I don't do that. I don't PvP. I just PvE.
How do you talk smack, though? I thought that's part of the thing.
No, that's more like Call of Duty or something. I mean, you can, but usually when you're playing against other people, but I just quest.
Okay.
I'm in it for personal achievements.
Okay.
Not necessarily defeating young kids.
I'm in it for personal achievement.
I save that for Red Dead Redemption.
You got to set goals in life,
You do. And then miss those
obtainable
goals.
ones.
Yeah.
Right.
For 11-years.
Yeah, got to keep the bar low, man.
Hey, JP playing video games reminds me, our Firestone Walker behind-the-scenes video is now out. You can check.
I saw that.
Yeah, we put it out last Monday, and it's on our YouTube page. It's also on our Facebook page, YouTube/Brewing Network or Facebook/Brewing Network, and you see Beardy and JP playing video games. Well, it's one of the cool things they do.
Nude. We thought they had swimming suits on, but hey, that's something.
Yeah, we were naked, and we're working on a behind-the-scenes video that should be getting released in another week or so too.
Meta behind the scenes.
Does that include those girls that were in that RV? Oh no, that's behind the behind.
That'll be the other.
Behind the scene. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to be a member to get that one. We're also starting a new member site for brewers porn, basically. Anyway, check out our Firestone video. I'm really proud of it. I think it came out great.
Yeah.
All right, so what's coming up here? Let me get through this really quick. The Mammoth Blues-a-Palooza, Mammoth Blues and Brews Festival. That's this weekend. It's coming up. It's finally here. Go get your tickets. MammothBluesBrewsFest.com. MammothBluesBrewsFest.com. Check it out. We're heading up there. I think we're going to get there Thursday night and party. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, the whole shebang starts. That's when the headliner, I believe, plays. Trombone Shorty's playing Friday night. It's going to be awesome. And then Saturday is the beer fest part of it, along with more music. You can go get all this information and more at MammothBluesBrewsFest.com. But if you are on the fence about going, get off the fence. Join us. Go get your tickets right now.
And it's razor wire, and that's got to hurt.
Yeah.
So stop it.
We're going to shoot some video of the event, too, much like we did for Firestone. So come up to us. Maybe you'll get on camera. We'll put you in our behind-the-scenes Mammoth Fest video. I think this video needs more tasty, so we're going to need to get you putting your tattoos on cleavage and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of tasty we want,
Yeah, right. So, I'll be doing that, of course.
Okay. All right. So go check it out and get your tickets and join us. It's going to be fun. Do your Amazon shopping. It's a great way to support us by clicking the Amazon link right there on our homepage, and then you just shop as normal, and we get a little piece of the action. Do we have a product of the week?
Yes, very quickly. Stella McCartney women's Leia ribbed ankle crop jeans. Would you like to take a guess how much these jeans were?
Oh, they are not cheap.
$12.95.
Oh, so Bevo knew right away.
Yeah.
$200.
$528.
Whoa.
And that's marked down from $960. This person saved $432.
Yeah, Stella McCartney.
All right.
Pretty good.
What is ankle cropped? Does that mean they're like high waters?
Jeans?
Oh.
Like there's that elasticy part on the ankle that hugs it.
So they're overcharging somebody for Lycra.
That's exactly right.
What just happened.
Yeah, we have a new concept. It's called elastic.
It's a new technology.
Paul McCartney's daughter.
That's who
As if she
makes
doesn't have enough money. Wait 10 minutes. That kid's going to die anyway. And she'll get all his money. It'll be fine. She doesn't need to rip people off.
Well, we're glad she's selling high-priced items because we got a nice commission.
8%. It was $42.24. So you are the man or woman.
Good tonight.
We'll pay for some of our beers tonight. All right.
All right. You can also support us by subscribing and joining the BN Army. All of our programming is free, and many of you donate. And if you click the donate button and become a recurring donor, we love you even more. And I'm going to be honest with you, we wouldn't be here today if folks like you didn't do that. And we always need more to do it. One day people would like to stop working for minimum wage. I'm sure of it. So help us out. Hit the subscribe button right there on the page. It's the donate button. There's a little dog tag there, and you can become a recurring donor for as little as $2 a month. It gives you first access to our ticket sales, and you get a monthly newsletter that actually goes out every month. It's amazing. And all sorts of good stuff. So do us a favor. Click the donate button. We need it, all right? You can get all these updates and more over on Twitter and Facebook. Send show ideas over to Scott the Jew. That's Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Send your feedback to feedback thebrewingnetwork.com. I'm going to do feedback in just a moment, but first, how about we announce our Twitter game?
Let's do it.
Twitter game is brought to you by the folks producing the Labruski Cruise, which is happening early next year in March, right, Moscow?
Yep, March 1 through 5. The preliminary brewery list, Avery, Ballast Point, Boulder Boulevard Brewery, Cascade, Cigar City, Coronado, Dogfish Head, Founders, and it goes on and on and on. It's going to be a great lineup, and they're working on more every day.
Wow.
So join us.
All right, so we're going to be there, and what we're doing with the Twitter game is each week's Twitter winner between now and I believe December, did we say?
I think we're going to do it around Christmas. It's
Or-
yet to be determined, but for the next little while.
For the next little while, every Twitter winner is entered to win a cabin. It'll be a trip for two on the Labruski Cruise. So help us play the Twitter game and help yourselves get on the Labruski Cruise. What is today's Twitter game?
Well, I was inspired for today's Twitter game by watching that new show with Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner called It's Just Kate or whatever it is.
There's a show?
Taryn's sister was watching it.
Sounds boring.
Yeah, well, so then I thought, if we went transgender, we would have to pick new names, right? Because it's not Bruce, it's Caitlyn, which I don't know how you get Caitlyn from Bruce.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So anyway, so if the BN staff all went transgender, what would our names be? And I put all our names out just because in case people don't understand. Justin, JP, Beverly, I just had to use full names, Scott, Warren, Nate, and Tasty.
Okay.
Which I felt like instead of calling Tasty Mike, I feel like that's going to be the winner. That's going to be the crux of this to win this whole game.
I think
what
Tasty
other adjective can you use?
I feel like he's already his transgendered name. That one goes either way.
Yeah. Tasty's no longer around. It's Tasty now.
I've seen people have sent me links to a couple of songs about somebody called Tasty.
Oh.
Somebody told me there was a TV series.
What does this have to do with
some chick was named Tasty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but every time it's always a chick. Songs about a chick. Or it's a chick in the park.
Do we need to get John from Beer Law Center on protecting your name?
No, I think we need to get Caitlyn Jenner on to explain to Tasty and encourage him to come out and transfer. It sounds like he's halfway there with the name.
Well,
he might be inspired to pick Juicy.
There's another half I'm working on. It's still tough. I've never.
And I didn't hear Doc on that list. Doc's just Doc.
Yeah, what about Doc?
I forgot.
Okay, no worries. All right, so that's our Twitter game. Send in our new transgendered names.
Doc's not here, so what do you want?
I can't wait to see Bevo as a man. It's going to be great.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Going to have the best boobs on any man ever.
That's I've been to beer festivals. That's not a fact.
Right. All right, let's do some feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by our good friend John over at Beer Law Center, who you go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. He does a great job protecting the hop grenade. I had to send him another link today of yet another.
You discovered it just as we were about to go to air. Did someone email it to you? Or?
Yeah, so Aaron, one of our managers here at the Hop Grenade, emailed it to me like on Friday night, which I have to kick him in the balls for. Don't email me angering
Ruin
things
your weekend.
on Friday nights. I then obsess about that. And don't send them after 7 p.m. And I have a lot of rules to keep my sanity. And one of them is not to send me angering things at the weekend.
Oh, you delicate flower.
I am. Listen, if I don't have these rules, I have to go back to therapy. This is how I stay out of therapy.
Well, it's free anyway, but then don't answer your email.
No, my guy moved away, so until I find someone else who realizes I'm a hell of a project, they can write their next PhD on me. I'll have to pay for it. So it's a delicate balance.
Yeah, you just don't answer your email. It's your fault. It's not his.
All they have to do is start ripping off the hop grenade, and then you'll be back in therapy with them. So
right.
Yeah, well, I'll update your LinkedIn so everybody knows what head case you are, and they'll be calling you.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah. Maybe I should do that. All right, go over to beerlawcenter.com and let John help you out too, man. He keeps me sane. Okay, let's see. Green Mountain Drinker writes in.
Green Mountain Drinker.
He wants the haters to shut it. He says, hello, grease test brewcasters on Earth. I think he meant greatest.
Grease test.
Grease test.
A little voice to text going on there.
On Earth. And JP. Two things from last week's Chuckanut episode. Kia ora, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Kia ora simply means hello in the Maori language. Maori are the indigenous people to New Zealand, where your feedbacker was from. Okay, so I guess that's a correction.
It's also a cheap Japanese car.
A Kia ora. Number two, he says, shut the F up to the hater that was complaining about the session only being about interviews with brewers. Really? What the fuck is wrong with you? First of all, this is probably my favorite line ever. First of all, Justin is the best interviewer I have ever heard next to Howard Stern.
Wow. did you add the Stern part, or was that in the letter?
No, that's what he put on there. And
I hesitated to put that in. I was like, are you... no, fine. All right. Fine.
Well, hey, he is a mighty interviewer. That's a fine compliment.
That's what I'm saying. You don't deserve it.
I don't deserve it, yeah. I'm clearly not the best since Howard Stern. But I'm up there. I'm in the top, 600.
You are good,
I'm
but
in the top 600.
it's kind of unbelievable.
I would say it's like Howard, Magic Johnson...
Arsenio.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah. You're somewhere right below Magic Johnson.
Yeah. You're probably right.
You can print it out and frame it and highlight that part.
That's what I will do.
Here.
Yeah, I'm not going to frame what JP said. I'm going to print this out and
with
frame
a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
This was said on this date and time.
That's right. All right. Secondly, he says, I learned more about brewing from the interviews with actual brewers than I learned anywhere else. I take at least one thing away from every brewer interview.
Me too.
And usually more. If you don't learn anything about brewing from these interviews, you must be an effing rock. Mitch Steele, Matt Brynelson, Vinny, the guy from Chuckanut. He was on last week.
Yeah.
Fuck, he says. Are you F? It didn't work.
No.
I was like, I got to say that one. Are you sure you're listening to the session? If you want a straight info on how to brew and nothing else, go to listen to Brew Strong or the Sour Hour or any of the other great shows on the BN. All good shows. Other than that, shut the fuck up. Respectfully, Green Mountain Drinker. P.S. I just noticed that I spelled greatest wrong in my greeting, but I liked that the misspelling came out as grease test, so it made me laugh and I kept it. Sent for the bottom of my dirty glass.
So it wasn't just drunk.
Oh, the Club of the Year comments still coming in. Hey, guys, I share your annoyance about people making a big stink about the Club of the Year award. People should just brew better beer. My club puts on an ongoing competition of our own for Best Brewer of the Year, and we have many members who contend for the award. However, without getting into too many details, many people complain about one particular member who brews awesome beer and wins lots of competition medals, saying that competition points that count towards our award shouldn't be worth as many points, blah, 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 blah. And he just goes on and says, is bullshit. If you want to win, enter beer, apply the feedback given, and make better beer. Sorry for blathering on. From TK. Yeah, I got to admit, as every day goes by, I keep leaning closer toward us dropping out entirely.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it.
No.
All right, Luke writes in, good noon. Good day, respectable gentleman and lady. Luke from Fairfield, Connecticut here, and I'm a very new home brewer and listener. About 8 months brewing, and 4 of those months have already been wasted listening to you asshats talk about God knows what. I've recently gone back in the archives and listened to most of Lunch Meat. Why don't you do that show anymore? It's a true shame.
It's a great question.
Is there any hope for future Lunch Meats? If not, I think we should start a petition to bring back at least the Olympics. Let me know what you guys think.
Don't you have a couple in the can?
I think so.
Probably.
I think just one. I think we have one from here.
Right.
That was the best lunch meat ever, by the way. But the audio was real bad. It's all distorted and stuff. I was still figuring things out in here.
You just can't surpass greatness. You already achieved that. You just leave that as it is.
Good call.
This is going to be like...
That was my Hotel California.
Well, since it's unreleased, it's going to be like The Day the Clown Cried.
Right.
Like Jerry Lewis thing about the Holocaust. Yeah.
Never
going to be seen in the light of day.
Yeah, to answer your question, there is a slim to no chance that lunch meat will ever...
So you're saying that... I don't know why. I would do that in a second. Yeah. I know you wouldn't, but...
I would. If I had time, I would.
Yeah? Well, we can get rotating, guest hosts. It'd be amazing.
Yeah?
I mean, what else is going to happen here on a Friday afternoon?
Not much.
Yeah.
Lunch meat makes me, drives me to drink. It makes me drink in the middle of the day.
Because of all the insane people in the world with cool news stories and stuff?
I don't know. It's just too fun. And then I'm like, we should just have a beer now and drink for the rest of the day.
I would hate having fun consistently on a regular basis.
It's not like this show, which is a fucking drag.
Right.
Lunch meat is just too much fun.
What would you normally be doing? Work. On a Friday afternoon? It's a few hour head start, right?
Yeah, that's true. I usually do start pretty early on Fridays anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like in the morning.
So, anyway, he goes on to say he loves every show, good knowledge, etc. Good noon from Luke. Cool, thanks. Sent from JP's iPhone. Michael wants to know, hey, love the shows. The beer gods have blessed me with a business trip to Denver in September, which will get me to the Great American Beer Festival for the first time. Will you guys be there? Yes, we will. We're always there, and you can find our booth in the Homebrew Marketplace, and you can also find us doing shows and content from the Brewers Studio Pavilion in the center of the hall. We're always there doing it. All right, Stern Look Brewer writes in about Tasty Gems. He says, hey, I'm a podcast listener here. Love the show. Keep up the good work, yada, yada. Tasty had me lolling. Listen back to the Gladfield show. And at 129, you all were talking about Gabby putting stitches in people. And out of nowhere, Tasty says real low, or check your anal glands.
Take care of your anal glands, too.
Oh, is that it? The clip right there?
That was it.
Oh, she's a veterinarian.
Play it again. What does he do?
Yeah. Take care of your anal glands, too.
So he goes on to say, I think you guys missed it, but I must have laughed for 3 minutes straight. I actually didn't miss it. I remember that very clearly, and I lulled myself, but I did it off the microphone because Gabby had gone on talking. And so there was definitely some anal gland lulling going on, if that's a thing. He says, Tasty Gems happen all the time, albeit creepy as fuck, but damn hilarious. Keep it up.
Whatever floats your boat, Tasty.
All right, and finally our spam of the week was titled 8 New Fuck Buddies Are Waiting.
What?
I have to whisper because it's out in the out in the thing.
Yeah.
It's out in the bar.
It's very important we read
We
this,
win our
too,
choice, so don't let them know about it.
Got to get through it.
Yeah, he says, he, she, I don't know who's writing the thing, says, I don't want to date anyone right now, but I still want to get effed.
Well, that's common.
Do you like girls with a little extra thickness? I don't know. What are we talking? Like, where's the, I always have so many questions. Like, where's the thickness?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, are you talking Liz and Julia on Big Brother, like the difference between the two girls there? Or are you talking, like, 30 pounds?
I don't know those people.
Really? Oh, that's right. You don't have fun. I forgot.
Well, we're going to respond to this, obviously. So
right. So maybe we'll find out. Like, if we're talking like Bevo thickness, I'm all in. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I like a little thickness.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Although I really like my women
like. Actually classifies as a creepy as fuck moment.
I didn't even hear it.
I said that's perfect.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfect. See, right. So there you go.
Well, you got 8 to choose
better
from.
when he thought I was too
I
fat.
do tend to like my women a little more heroin addict looking, like
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, like ribs poking out. Like but every now and then, sure, I like a little thickness. Seductress 25. So I guess if you like it, you should message me. My username is Seductress25 at hottestdates.eu. Oh, I do like European broads too. So
and they probably really are addicted to heroin. So that's a bonus for you.
And you got 8 to choose from, so you can say I want from heroin to healthy.
Right.
Oh, the full range.
From heroin to healthy.
That's my new book, Nathan. It's coming out. I'm writing it now. It's called From Heroin to Healthy.
Isn't it from healthy to heroin?
Yeah, mine is an opposite progression.
And I just read the flap, and the first side of the cover says, well, I'm 3 weeks clean now, and it continues from there.
So I was thinking about this the other day. For one, I really want to retire early, like 40-ish.
Smart.
Like 40 minutes?
But two, I figure whenever I'm going to get old really fast. I'm going to have I'm going to have problems.
Yep.
I'm not going to make it very far.
Right.
I was thinking I'm probably going to take up heroin at one point. Because why not? Like, things aren't going to be going that great anyway.
Smart.
If you're in pain or whatever, like I'm going to be, I feel like heroin's a good plan.
I think it's really smart.
Like it's at the end anyway, so why not try those things? This is where people get it wrong. They do it in the beginning. They ruin their life.
Yes.
If you do it at the end,
when they can bounce back from it,
you get to enjoy all the things of it, and you're gone anyway.
Let me just offer a piece of advice: smoke it instead of shooting it, because most of the problems are from injecting. So if you don't do that, you're fine.
I hear the problem is though that like eventually,
that's not true.
It's smoking. It's not enough. Like you get a better little punch if you inject it.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. You get hooked on it faster if you're injecting it, but your health problems are from the withdrawal. It's not from how you shoot it up.
Nope. It's from the injection and what do you call it? Infections. And, yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was OD.
It is.
OD.
Well, that too, but you can have problems with it if you don't OD. Not everybody who's on it ODs.
If you don't inject, you smoke it, and then you have lung issues, or you do an eyedropper at the back of your nose, and you have palate issues. You have issues however you do it. It's the drug. It's not.
All right.
Can I just
whatever?
say that
I don't
you
want to talk about the bad parts of it. I just want to get high.
You wanted to censor the F word, and now you're a proponent for heroin.
Talking about copping.
You're an idiot.
I was literally thinking about this stuff. People like, actually, you were included in my thought process.
Of course I was.
Because the other thing was like, I was like,
mine too.
Well, Bevo's really good. Like I figure that you're always going to be in my life. Like you're a good friend and you're really good to me. So I was thinking when I'm sort of incapacitated, Bevo will be the one who cops for me. Like she'll be out getting me heroin.
You think she'll get you a kit and all that kind of stuff?
Wait.
Yeah. You're going to be my heroin.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, clean
jockey.
needles. She'll make sure to always get clean needles.
Yeah, you'll make sure I'm safe. Like
I will probably make sure you get clean.
But I will say, regardless, I would snort it. I wouldn't inject it because that's too crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit.
We'll see.
Yeah, snort, smoke, just don't inject.
It depends on how long I'm doing it for. So I agree with you. Like, just to start, I'll just snort it, smoke it, whatever. But if I do live longer than I expect, I'll probably end up shooting.
Yeah. And you want the patch.
You'll try all.
Yeah, I want the patch.
The heroin patch?
Yeah. By then it'll be a thing.
Just go straight for methadone.
It'll be a thing.
Right. Then it's all prescription. Then Bevo has to pick up my methadone prescription
I have
every.
to drive you to the methadone clinic.
What's going to be near your house anyway? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I want to remake Train Spotting with the BN.
Oh,
like Bevo would be
the
dude, the mother or whatever, where
who leaves
Ewan
her
McGregor
kid in the room to die.
No, like Ewan McGregor goes into the squat house to like shoot up.
Yeah,
and there's the dude who all he does is hook people up. That would be you.
Oh yeah.
Sam would be. The tweaker
Dead?
who got the job at the tried to get a job at the travel agency.
High on
take
speed and
pleasure
shit.
in other people's leisure. That'd be Sam.
That'd be
amazing.
That is Sam.
This would be a good remake.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Well, that's our future for you. So,
Well, it's your future.
Right.
Things are looking up.
Cellarmaker Brewing Company is on the program with us today. We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more of their beer and learn all about Cellarmaker Brewing from San Francisco, California. Hang in there. It's The Session. We're broadcasting live from the Hop Grenade. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com. Craft beer and kick-ass music. This is the year to attend the 20th Annual Mammoth Festival of Beers and Bluesapalooza in beautiful Mammoth Lakes, California. Enjoy more than 80 breweries like Mammoth Brewing, Anchor, Fireman's, Bear Republic, Anderson Valley, Stone, Green Flash, Firestone Walker, Sierra Nevada, Lagunitas, Deschutes, and many, many more. On stage, you'll hear Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue, Johnny Lang, Robert Cray, Robin Ford, Ruthie Foster, Carolyn Wonderland, Tommy Castro and the Painkillers, the Sly Brothers, and much more. It's the most incredible lineup ever to take a Mammoth stage. Don't miss the 20th Annual Mammoth Festival of Beers and Bluesapalooza, Thursday, July 30th through Sunday, August 2nd. Tickets and more information at MammothBluesBrewsFest.com or call 888-825-5484. Tickets for some events will sell out early. Get yours at MammothBluesBrewsFest.com or call 888-825-5484 today.
Brewcasters are back. 888-401-BEER.
Whatever.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Boy, do we have a lot to do today and a lot of good beer to drink. While we're doing that, you should maybe go over to beersmith.com and check out the Beersmith homebrewing software. It is free for 21 days. You can go check it out, download it for PC or Mac, and check it out. You don't have to take my word for it, because if you don't like it in the end, then you don't need it. But go check it out. It's homebrewing software that does everything you need it to do. You can imagine your best beer ever and brew with confidence. Plus, there's a podcast over there. There's DVDs. He did a DVD with John Palmer, or our old buddy John Palmer. So go check it out, beersmith.com. He's a great supporter of the BN, and you should support him too. All right. In the meantime, we are talking to the boys from Cellarmaker Brewing Company in San Francisco. We've got Tim Shasha. Did I get it right?
That's right.
And Connor Casey, the co-founders of Cellarmaker Brewing Company, in the studio with us. We are big fans of you guys and your beer.
We're big fans of you.
At least the beer.
Thanks, man. At least a beer. Yeah, like
we're waiting to see what the verdict is on you guys.
We'll tell you after the show about
this.
Yeah.
No, we know these guys. We hang and all that stuff. Yeah, they're cool.
I'm pretty sure that you guys were on our opening tap list even before I knew too much about your beer. Our general manager Kevin was a huge fan too, and he made sure. I said, "Look, you got to build us just the best list, as many local beers as we can too, but you can go outside the local area, best list you can." And you guys were at the top. At the top.
I thought you were going to say you settled for us,
and we settled for you. Yeah,
Rush never said no.
Mo Nelson. That's what we had on first. Yeah,
opening night,
and I think it went fast too. So you guys, you really came out of the gate brewing great beer. How long has Cellarmaker been around?
We opened in October of 2013, so we're creeping up on 2 years, even though it still feels super new.
Sure, okay. Couple years, and you chose to build your brewery in San Francisco, which seems like a difficult choice to me. It's expensive, and I'm assuming the zoning laws were difficult. Give me a little background. Why San Francisco?
Well, San Francisco is a big city, and we get a lot of visitors. And I worked in Soma at City Beer Store for a while.
Okay.
And saw a lot of people coming and going.
Great place.
Conventions, and you got lots of people who are really, really into beer. And sure, San Francisco is difficult, but it's a big market, and our tasting room is really busy.
It is all the time. Every time I'm there.
It's awesome. We're grateful for it, and it's what really makes it work. I always say you can never have a production brewery in San Francisco. Obviously, Anchor does it, but they're old and sure they're dialed in. But yeah, it makes sense for us having the taste room component is what really makes it happen. The zoning sucked. There was a day where they said, you can only do taster glasses and 5 ounces or less, and deal with that. And we were like, no. So the city was kind of confused. It kind of sucked, and we got through it, and we try and forget about it as much as we can.
So the city may be confused about that, but the ABC, I'm sure, wasn't, because you're not the first brewery in San Francisco.
Not at all.
Okay.
We're just another Type 23. We got a tasting room. We got a brewery in the back.
Okay.
Similar to what you see all over the state. It just happened to be in San Francisco.
So a Type 23 is a production brewery, though, right? Or is that a brew? It's not a brew pub.
It's a brew pub.
Oh, it is.
I mean, production's a loaded word. It depends on how far you take it, I think.
But Type 23 is brew pub. So does that mean you have to have a kitchen?
Nope.
No.
It means we can't do guest taps because we don't have a kitchen, and we can't do cider, and we can't do wine.
Got it.
So we could make tons of beer if we wanted to. We could be a production facility.
Okay.
But the way we like to do it, and I'm sure we'll get into it, is just like small, hands-on,
Yeah.
tiny little spot.
So it is it's a great spot. Location-wise, if you're new to San Francisco, maybe you're a little nervous walking down the road. I'm not saying like it's dangerous or anything, but you go, God, is there a brewery here? You're walking, and it's like I don't know what. It's like a plumber shop and a mechanic. And
it's real, but not too real.
Yeah, it's real, but not too real.
Because there's other neighborhoods for that.
It's come a long way in the
better.
2.5 years, man. Wow.
So it has. And so you guys are right down the street from City Beer, right?
Mm-hmm. We are. And to a degree, that neighborhood is the only neighborhood I think it made sense rent-wise for us.
Okay.
I think we were kind of like, we want to be in the heart of the city, and the rent's crazy, but Soma is kind of shitty, and we're jumping in. And it's
But you can
nicer.
access it so
But
easily
it's
from
close.
Bard and
Right.
Totally.
any of the buses.
Well, Soma means south of Market, for those who don't know, Market Street.
Okay, Market Street being sort of the main, well, at least if you're a tourist, the main artery through San Francisco.
Yeah, divides the good stuff from the shitty stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds so far like I'm shitting on the location, but I was getting to a point, which is that you're walking, and then you get to Cellarmaker, and it's this awesome little spot. Your tasting room is pretty big. I know you guys probably consider it small because it's packed all the time, but in my opinion, it's pretty big. Especially when you then compare it to the brewery, you guys have crammed everything into this space. When you get back into the brewery, it's just wall to wall stainless, right?
Yeah, and there's some barrels. That's 7 fermenters, 4 brights, the brew house. The grain room in the back with the keg cleaner. It's stuck in this tiny little room in the back also.
Yeah.
I mean, it is...
And a 20 barrel coming in 10
20
days.
barrel coming very soon.
Wow.
To do some double batching of more popular beers.
So that surprised me because my next question was basically, you guys planned for zero growth in that location. It seemed to me that, that was that.
No, we knew we could fit more.
You did?
Yeah, but...
you guys are good. That's like
it's totally.
Tetris.
I describe it like Tetris or like a San Francisco apartment. You got to make the most of it. You got to think about it from the get go. We started with 4 fermenters, but there were always glycol connections to add more.
Okay.
So we started with 4 10-barrel fermenters. Now we're up to 7. Now we're adding the 20. Now we're kind of maxing out, but we're happy with it. We want to keep the tasting room. Plenty of beer there.
Yeah.
And then bars like you guys that are awesome and take care of the beer and serve it fresh.
We try to have it all the time.
Yeah.
Are you guys going broke or are you making money?
You can go big.
Yeah, doing dual call. Exactly. They're going to buy up Cellarmaker next.
Hey, who knows?
Yeah, they're like, we need a little satellite location. Right. Are you guys making money or are you going broke?
We're paying people off.
You are?
Yeah.
That's
Not to do shady shit or anything. Yeah. We're paying investors off slowly. Yeah. It's kind of a crazy thing. I don't know. To be a business owner at the age of 30 and doing this, it's a wild ride, man.
It's a lot at stake, but you just kind of jump in the pool and go for it.
Yeah, you just do it.
Do you guys get stressed out? Does it bother you?
Drink a beer.
Are you pretty chill, pretty easy going?
I'm like an anxious East Coaster. I definitely
yeah.
I wake up, I'm like, new day. I'm like, oh God, I'm so anxious.
Everything could fall apart today.
Constantly.
I was talking to Jamil about that the other day. Him and I have the same outlook about business, which is that we wake up every day thinking that everything is going to go to shit. Yeah. And then by the end of the day, we're like, oh, well, that wasn't bad. Things are okay.
Yeah.
And I got this under control. And then it starts over again the next morning, every single day, thinking we have no idea what we're doing and everything's going to go to shit.
All of the stressing over it, though, I mean, you're going to do it for years and years, and then one day everything will go to shit, but the actual experience of it happening will not be nearly as bad as the years of stressing about it.
I
like
agree 100%.
Test, right? Taking the test is not as bad as the 4 days
Thinking
you
about
spend
the test.
worried about studying.
Yeah, but
for
then
it.
you can also be like, I told you it's going to go to shit.
And it's prepared. And it's this weird nagging feeling that if you're not paying attention to how it could go to shit, you won't be able to stop it from going to shit. That's the feeling. So I'm not accusing you of this. I'm just saying this is how I...
at all. I think you're super sane. That's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and when it all goes to shit, hopefully you'll be dead of a heroin overdose anyway.
Right. Well, if not, then very shortly after.
Well, that's why he's going to bail at 40.
Day. Yeah, that's why I'm bailing at 40-ish, 39. I'm almost 38. So.
Pull that parachute. It's really just an anvil.
Yeah.
So you'll be all right.
But you guys have a pretty good model because of the tasting room. How much of your beer do you sell just right there yourselves?
We're doing about 60% over the bar.
That's awesome.
It is awesome because you get to go. You're drinking pale ale and IPA right out of a serving tank. It's not moving around. It's super, super fresh, and it's well handled. So we like that. It's a good margin, and again, it's why it makes sense being in the city.
Yeah.
Could you do more than 60%?
I think we go above that sometimes.
Average on the week.
Average is around 60. Probably.
We could be busier on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but on the weekend, we're grateful for how busy we are, but it's a complaint. I can't get a seat.
So you're not
great problem to have.
Stealing beer out of the tap room to get it to accounts, like the Rare Barrel.
I think that's one thing that Connor took a lot of time and effort to kind of figure out was how. And at the beginning, it would be like totally up and down, and we'd run out of beer suddenly. But we really put a lot of focus on how much beer is going to be allocated to people like yourselves or some of our other friends, and really we knew IPA is going to sell a lot, right? Pale ale is going to sell, so we only released so much of that. So maybe we sell 80% of that, but then there's the saison or whatever, and we know we can keep a lot of that in house. It's not going bad right away.
Okay,
and we'll sell. We'll sell a lot of it, but over more time. And then some beers this one we're going to really push out.
Mm-hmm. So. It's nice to hear how strategic you guys are about that, because one of the words that just always sticks in my head when I think of Cellarmaker is fresh. We always get this this should be obvious for most brewers, by the way, but it's not. And part of that is just how the market works sometimes, but part of it is planning. I think you guys really plan well. I mean, I have picked up beer from you personally, Connor, where it was kegged 15 minutes before.
That's awesome.
And in fact, I think I've picked up beer so fresh from you guys that we've had a conversation where...
We made you wait.
Yeah, where you're like, you can't tap this. For one, we haven't tapped it yet. And two... it's almost too fresh. It's not how we want it to taste yet.
So as Tim was saying, IPA is in the highest demand in the tasting room, but also out of the tasting room. So what do? You make more. You feel like you're making just IPA all the time, but it's what everybody wants. So you make a different one each time. You keep it interesting. But yeah, from a freshness perspective, you're going, okay, what's the weekend going to be like? It's going to be busy, but how much IPA can I comfortably send out? You send it out, and maybe a week later you revisit, and there's one or two more kegs you can squeak out to an account.
Okay.
But ideally, I would say 90% of our hoppy beer you're going to drink is delivered to an account within less than a week of coming out. And we push all of them to tap it within 3 or 4 days. So
and keep it cold.
Keep it cold the whole time, which is the biggest thing as well. And really, I think the oldest hoppy beer you're going to get from us at a bar is going to be maybe 15 days old.
Right.
And cold storage. So
if you guys don't get greedy, you have the potential to follow the Vinny Cilurzo model, which is what you're doing right now.
We look up to Uncle Vinny, for sure. Yeah.
Like, he has always controlled every drop of that beer and the timing of it, and that has been his choice not to expand out of any capacity for him to control every drop of that. So that's why I say if you don't get too greedy, because opportunities will arise, right?
Oh, you can blow it up. For sure, but then what does the beer taste like? It's like you sell people on this story, and then it's a totally different product you're selling them. So
we talked about the Vinny model right away, and we said, man, how are we going to come up right out of the gates as this tiny little new brewery with, no one knows Connor, no one knows me.
Right.
And say to bars, hey, this is what we want to see. And I don't think we did right away, but the beer was good enough right off the bat where we were like, okay, you know what? There's some demand here. I think we can kind of persuade people to do what we're thinking.
And tap it fast for good reason, not me first. But tap it right away, because that distributed keg you're getting is already 6 weeks old. So
we're all growing on the same rate too. So bars like yourselves understand that at the same time as we understand it. So
sure,
it's not a hard sell anymore.
Did you get pushback at first from anybody? Nah, we'll serve it when we want. Thanks a lot.
Saw maybe a little bit, but I think the people we chose are savvy beer people.
Carefully selected.
I felt like you guys said it with authority. I was afraid of you. Like when you said, "Don't tap that," all right. I swear to God, I won't. I'll put tape over it.
He must be somebody.
Yeah, this is like authority. That's how I have to do it. And just tell people what you want.
That's kind of how you got to do it.
So you said, like, who knows us, right? Like we're new to this, and you don't have some long brewing resume before you started this company. Both of you worked at breweries, right?
Mm-hmm. We worked at the same brewery.
At Marin?
Yep.
As brewers as well?
No, I was in the back brewing.
You were in the back.
Connor
Okay, so
was front
Tim
of
was in the back brewing, and Connor, you were out in the front. Okay.
Front of house, yep.
All right. Home brewers, though?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, my story is kind of got into craft beer pretty young. My brother's 12 years older than me. So, like, I was going, and he's kind of like, he was at that time very kind of hippie. So I'd be going to these, like, hippie parties, and the fridge, instead of having, Bud in there, I'm from the East Coast, so, like, Magic Hat and Shipyard, and this is before they were bought out by big companies.
Okay.
When they were still good. Sam Adams and Smutty Nose. Love Smutty Nose.
Yeah.
So that's what I was drinking at, like, 14, 15 years old.
Okay, yeah.
So I started, and it tasted like dirt to me at first, but I knew there was something different about it,
Yeah.
So I was drinking that.
I know there was Rolling Rock in that East Coast fridge, too. Don't bullshit me.
There's definitely a few.
And there was some real Bud in there.
Macros in there.
Yeah.
In the freezer.
Yeah, there was the hippie Bud.
Yeah, hippies.
Yeah.
Where there's hippies, there's Bud.
That's right.
But yeah.
So started out drinking good
started
beer.
Started drinking beer. Got into home brewing in college.
Okay.
And then, just got the
bug.
Got the bug.
Did you enter competitions with your home brew?
No, it was nothing like that. It was just a way for friends and I to get together and.
Because I'm trying to gauge how you got so good so fast. And did you consider yourself a great home brewer? Did people really enjoy your beers?
Never have considered myself a great home brewer. Actually.
Okay.
I think my palate's really good.
Okay.
So after college, I went to Sam Adams. I was doing tours there.
Nice.
At the Boston facility. And that was a really great experience, like constantly learning. Just like
he was good at it.
Hit over. Thank you.
I was impressed.
You met him there, Tasty?
Yeah, I was out for my Sam Adams. You get to go out and brew a beer with this thing when I went.
For the long shot, yeah.
And it basically was held at their pilot brewery, which also was their tour place and tasting room.
Yeah,
and all that
that's the only one I've been to.
Met Tasty and Chad there.
Oh, nice.
Chad and I were both out there for that. And there's this intern guy. He's pretty sharp for.
I had a mustache
or whatever he was.
Yeah. Did they give you tasty cookies at the end of the tour? Is that how they tipped you out?
I wish.
No, I had them. I know.
Can you tell Tasty
we drank
free beer?
A bunch of double IPA.
Right.
That was fun. I got to talk to one of the tour groups. That was
It's definitely the hoppiest beer that's ever passed through Sam Adams. It was
probably
great.
even so far.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
But yeah,
so you're there
I just
doing tours for a while.
Got the bug.
How'd you end up in California?
Wanted to brew. Decided like, hey, this is what I want to do, and I asked the brewers there. I was like, hey, can I get in, doing some cellar work and work my way up? And they're like, what's your degree in? I was like, music. And they're like, no.
Oh.
You need a science degree, biology or chemistry. And I was like,
okay.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
They're a pretty big company.
They are.
Anyone in.
Yeah.
And I understand that, especially me.
Just weeding out the riffraff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Even though you weren't, that's what they do.
Well, also, they just know that you're useless because you have a music degree. So they're like...
Totally, right.
No, why don't you just keep doing the tours, Tim, and shut up about it?
Or just DJ in the back or something.
Yeah, if we ever need a DJ, we'll call you. How about that?
I'm useless doing that.
But that's Sam Adams. All the other companies say, if you have an interest, and we have a lot of cellar work, just jump right in there. We'll take you, right? That's pretty much what's going on.
I think so.
Still that way.
But that's what the brewers there told me. Said, go to California, man. There's so many. Boston was had nothing. Nothing. This is 8 years ago, and there was nothing in Boston. New England had a spattering of breweries.
Yeah.
So they said, go to California, find a job there. You're going to scrub floors. You're going to clean kegs. And with the advice of people like Bert Boyce, who brewed out here at Drake's and a couple other spots, with his recommendation, came out here and just was very lucky to get a job at Marin Brewing.
Okay.
Which is, one of the best breweries around here.
And then Arnie, one of the best brewers around.
Yeah, Arnie's great.
For that reason. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was getting at, too. So you really must have learned a lot from Arnie. Because that's your hands-on brewing background before Cellarmaker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good mentor.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Guy's just he knows flavor.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like he's a great cook.
Yep.
He knows wine really well. He knows beer, obviously, very well. And you just... he wasn't the guy who would, like, tell you what's up. You kind of had to watch him and learn from him and extract it from him in your own way.
You do. Every time I speak with him, I feel like I have to extract every word.
He's a quiet guy.
He's a
until
very
you get him
quiet
really
guy.
going.
He's super chill but decisive if you're listening to what he's saying. He's very opinionated about it.
Yeah. So I
He's
think
just not going to bury you with his opinion. He's going to wait for your reaction.
And that led me to be able to come up with my own ideas and really kind of see how Arnie did it and then think about him different ways. But, like, it wasn't Arnie spoon-feeding me stuff.
Yeah.
Which just make me an Arnie copy.
Sure.
Right.
Which probably wouldn't have been so bad either.
And so you two met, you both worked there. You met at Marin. At what point do you start saying, hey, was it like did you have a bad shift one day and you were tired of being whatever you were doing? Yeah, we got to go. When do you start?
Actually, after the fact, I had left Marin. I started working at City Beer full-time. Was really enjoying myself there, but had the plan of the brewery in the back of my head and was kind of looking at who was out there and went up to Marin and talked to a couple of old workers. And I was like, hey, which batches of these did Tim brew, you know? And I'm trying the beers, and I'm like, this Marin IPA is awesome. He's sneaking a bunch of Simcoe in here, and Arnie doesn't know about it.
That didn't happen. That did not happen.
Never happened.
Yeah, sure did. And we started talking and you know, homebrew and talking about kind of what we wanted the brewery to be and what styles you want to focus on. And Tim had just been out east checking out some East Coast breweries, and they're heavily rotating, and there's no flagships and kind of like this free for all. Who gives a shit? Let's make whatever we want and see if people react to it. And it's worked out for us. It's one of the things that I kind of forget, and I know Tim and I kind of. Well, Tim doesn't forget it. He makes a lot of recipes, but we rotate the hell out of our beers. Mm-hmm. We brewed like batch 217 the other day, and I think there's 150 unique recipes. And we're just now starting to repeat more because there's those beers that you have to make again because you really liked it. But that's a big thing, I think, for our brewery that a lot of people, and it annoys some people too, but it's constantly rotating. It's constantly new, different. A new hop becomes available and we get it in the mail and we throw it in the batch the next day.
Right.
There's no production schedule like a larger brewery where it's like, oh, cool, Mosaic's new. Like, we got to put this in a recipe next year. So
you just go for it.
You just do it, yeah.
We're one of these accounts that doesn't get annoyed by that. We get sad by it. Sometimes we order a beer and we're like, hey, when is this? And you're like, I don't know, maybe never, maybe in a year.
We don't have a schedule. It's like 3 weeks out, maybe. You know?
Yeah, so we just go, all right, well, we'll take whatever you have. And it's always good. So you guys like to just keep it fresh, just keep doing another beer, whatever.
Beer ADD is what we kind of call it.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of like, you look at a tap room and how excited people get about, and I used to do the same thing. What does everyone have on tap right now? Am I going to go drink at Tornado or City Beer or wherever? And you get excited about the rotation. And I would think about these breweries that I loved, but when they had the same exact 12 beers plus maybe one seasonal, they just weren't getting my money that often. I'd go once or twice a year, and I respect the hell out of them, love the beer, it's consistent, but I don't need to keep drinking that same flavor.
Right.
So that was kind of where that conversation happened, and we said, let's keep it interesting and keep it. So.
Well, your model fits ours perfectly because we don't keep many things on all the time either, and we also will buy smaller kegs. We buy a lot of 5-gallon kegs, so we like it if our customers come in and it's a different menu every single day. So your model does fit that, perfectly. Let's talk a little bit about the beer. I've got a couple, and we all do, in our glasses in front of us. Since we've been talking about IPAs so much so far, Blood and Thunder. We were speculating on the name.
Nice. Cheap sound effects, great.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
So we were speculating. JP thinks it was a
World of Warcraft.
A World of Warcraft, like battle cry.
Not even close.
Nate over there thinks it's like the names of hops.
Nate knows what's up.
I know the story behind this, but Connor actually named it, so I'll let him take the stage for a minute.
Nate's in an awesome metal band, Brain Oil, and Nate and I were talking metal, and we were talking, let's do a collab, and what we're going to call it, and it's a really awesome Mastodon song from their second album called Blood and Thunder. So,
okay. Nate, I can't believe you're still riding that fucking band.
Oh, hell yeah. Like I'm 22. I'm 22 forever.
It's still getting you in the door places,
If
man.
Meatloaf can do it, Nate can do it. All right.
That's the next
I
name.
think Brain Oil had nothing to do with both Tim and Connor knowing me. It was all about the activities I've done here and talking about beer and hops and all the things I've done in homebrewing. That was first. So
well, you're
Brain
only
Oil's
here
like
because of Brain Oil, too. So, because JP was a fan. So
That's right.
He said we should have this brain oil kid on the show.
I was like, dude,
he didn't even know your name.
Yeah, this brain oil man. he's just amazing.
That's how Nicole met him too. It's everything.
It's
comes
true,
from there,
actually.
you know?
Yeah,
that was his payday.
Yeah, it was. Now I'm cashed out. It's done.
Now it's time to cut the hair and quit the band, Nate. Don't you think?
Well, I already have a real job, so what else can I do? Can I
That's
sell
a
out
good
some
point.
more?
You're gonna go all Metallica on us and cut your hair.
Oh
and
man,
start getting real shitty.
Metallica slow jams.
I just handed the Cellarmaker guys the Nigel Peppercock CDs.
Oh, Nate's other band.
I don't think they've ever seen this one.
That's actually Nate.
That's still around here. I'm surprised it hasn't been thrown away.
Pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
Now, Tim, as like a music major, he probably knows all about Nigel Peppercock.
He can tell me how terrible of a musician I am, probably, actually, which is the fun part.
He probably had to study Nigel Peppercock in music school.
His dissertation.
Only when I was studying skin flute. Wait, what? No.
Yeah, different. That's a different wind instrument than you should have majored in.
How many notes can you play at once?
All right, Blood and Thunder. Tell us about the beer. What's in it?
So we've done this twice now.
Yeah, second version.
So the first time was Batch 100.
Batch 100.
Last fall?
This one was 208, I think it was.
This was 208.
Yeah.
Wait, this is the collaboration with Nate?
This is a collaboration.
Yes.
So
Oh, okay.
This is the second time we've done it. It has an unofficial title of The Thundering.
Blood and Thunder 2, The Thundering.
Nice.
The feel-good hit of the summer.
Like it.
Electric Boogaloo.
So you collaborate on every step,
Music
starting with the
old lady
recipe
too.
and everything?
Yeah.
The emails start. We drink a couple beers, and I think Nate is such an awesome hop head, and we are too. And we kind of it's trying to push the envelope and do something different. And
we let Nate take the reins on that one a little bit. Definitely, we trusted his knowledge and brewing ability. So
Tim was nice enough to let me mine his brewing logs, so I kind of got a sense of the parameters of what would work in terms of how much can we fit in the whirlpool for hops, how much can we do at certain stages, and then I kind of ran with the profile of what hops you'd want to blend and whatnot. And they really were awesome about just letting me loose on the hop stash, and we went crazy.
Well, that was fun.
What was your starting point? Did you say to Nate, hey, we have these hops that we want you to figure out to make a beer with? Or did you just say, hey, Nate, design an IPA with us?
Well, you were talking to him.
yeah, I mean, I think the first time it was kind of like, here's what you can use. And then this time it was like, hey, we just got these South African hops in. They're cool as shit.
Okay.
Come taste this beer that we just made with them. And I think we should do Blood and Thunder again with the new hops and, integrate some American hops as well. And
got it.
And, yeah,
just playing those flavors like classic American. We know what that tastes like. We know what that smells like. New Zealand hops were... they were nothing new at the time, but we just wanted to explore that further and see how those two flavors came together. And then the second version, it's the South African flavor profile, which is very new.
What is that hop called?
The two ones we used in there, and that's the only two we have, are the J17, which is this experimental name, doesn't actually have a real name yet.
Okay.
And then Southern Passion is the other one, which is... wow, it is a top 5 hop in the world, I think.
Yeah,
really?
Southern Passion is this huge
Nobody knows it
expressive...
yet.
Wait, and those are
Beautiful.
both South African?
Those are both
That's right.
South African.
Yep.
Okay.
So when you tried them, did it immediately come to mind, oh, this will work with these American hops?
Basically, I'd say a year and a half ago, I'm always kind of looking for new flavors, and there's always new hops, but a lot of them kind of fall flat, I feel like. And we had heard that Jeff Irway at La Cumbre, who I think is a big inspiration for our brewery in general, out in New Mexico.
He's a badass.
Yeah. He's awesome. His Offie beers are out of control.
He's been on the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we heard he's using these South African hops, and we're like, you know what, Jeff Irway's awesome. I bet these are cool hops. And we kind of asked him, hey, do you have any, and where do we get them? And he's like, I'm short on Citra. And I was like, fuck, let's do this. So we got a couple boxes of them a year and a half ago. We did a single hop with both of them. Beautiful beers, both of them. The Southern Passion especially is like coconut and pineapple, and it's got this really earthy terroir kind of character, almost similar to the earthiness that you get out of Sriracha, minus the dill and the lemon and all that. But like that,
what people
kinda,
don't like. Okay.
Yeah. And we got really excited on those, but then it was kind of like, cool, we got 2 boxes of this. It's over in one or 2 more batches. It's not a real thing. It was fun. And then we were able to get a pallet of them.
Connor went on the hunt.
I went on the hunt.
Okay.
And they come from SAB Miller.
Interesting.
Kind of weird to deal with them.
So they come from them, but then they sell off their excess or something?
No.
Such a strange story.
I just found out we just bought like 4% of the whole harvest of South African hops this year. They're not growing a lot.
Okay.
So SAB grows them, South African brewers, and they're experimental. They're messing around. They sell a lot of them locally. and we saw that Faction got some, and I think Modern Times got some as well.
Okay.
So you got to ship them. It's not going through Hop Union or any of the big boys, but really unique flavors. We always try and differentiate. I think sometimes Tim and I are kind of like, let's make that C-Hop IPA that's classic and cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the attitude's kind of always, if you can buy that in a 6-pack down the street, if you can buy that easily and people have had that profile, let's be different for the sake of being different.
Okay.
Not that we don't love that profile, but let's be different.
Yeah.
So
what are you, Dogfish Head now?
Yeah, dude, 90 minutes. Yeah.
Just be different to
so
be
dry.
different. No, that makes sense. That's a good philosophy. If you can go buy it in somebody else's 6-pack down the street, why brew it? That's a good. It's a simple rule.
And once in a while you break it, and we did an all Centennial single hop, and we
as a brewer,
fun, but
I have hankerings. Like I do want to make. Like I actually do want to make. It's funny. I was listening to the Noble Ale Works show that you guys just did, and they did a circa 1997 IPA.
Yeah.
And like a couple of months ago, I was totally talking about something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like, I just want to load it up with Crystal Malt and Maris Otter and hit it with Columbus. And oh man, it'd be so amazing.
Columbus and Cascade.
And everyone's like, wait, you should use more Galaxy.
Where's the Citra?
How do brewers find out about these new hops? Do hop dealers call you and go, "Hey, I've got J17"? Like I never understand where these things come from.
I mean, for us, it was our way. We heard he had them, and we figured just this guy makes awesome beer. I'm sure there's a reason he has them.
So maybe it's always just kind of word of mouth that these things start to pop up.
How does a Jeff Irway find out?
Yeah.
I think he's got a friend in South Africa or something like that, is what I heard. But the bottom, I almost noticed that the better hops coming out, nobody's really talking about them, and it's those ones that kind of suck, like the Yarilo or whatever, and everyone's like talking about this new hop, and it's exciting, and they're going to unveil it, and it's because they're marketing it. So
okay,
yeah. If you look at any or most American hop profile like descriptions, you'll watch how they've changed over the years. Like it used to be like pine and citrus, and now it's like tropical fruit and guava, and they're like just trying to.
But are you really getting those
bit more
flavors?
Yeah, are you really getting them?
Yeah. Okay.
People want to ride that wave of the hype stuff and really get the most mileage out of it as possible. All those hops that have patents, probably.
Yeah,
Is
totally.
that your take on it?
Yeah, I mean they're putting so much time into these small acre hop fields to try to find new stuff, experimental stuff. And if it grows, that's the first thing, right? It grows and it's pest resistant and disease resistant. You made it past that. Now it's time to sell that hop.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it any way they can, I think.
Okay.
You almost feel like a hop like Mosaic. They're like, we don't want to hype this up anymore because we're fucked on acreage. We don't have enough. We're going to get orders up the ass anyway. So let's just play it cool and release this. It's the hops that are not as exciting. Maybe you want to market those.
Well, the growers are always looking for the next, really hot, popular
Sure.
hop,
Of course.
right?
Yeah. Of course they are.
And like Mosaic, once it's popular, what's the point of growing more of it? It's just going to lower the price. What you want to go after is the most trendy, popular hop at the highest price.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's just such a long process. What a tricky
Well, I mean,
tricky
these are
gamble.
I'm talking about the ones that have gone through the 8 years or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And they're now coming to, market, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, getting them in people's hands to test them. If you can come up with, again, the next Simcoe, you're better off growing a lot of that instead of your Simcoe itself.
Yeah.
Because it's getting to be like,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to impress a customer with a Simcoe beer now?
Okay.
Nobody.
Yeah. Nate, do me a favor.
Yep.
Describe what you think the hop character, that some of the flavors that you get out of this beer for our listeners.
So the Southern Passion in particular, like Connor was saying a little bit, has some of the earthy coconut as well as like some classic kind of citrus and dank and some pine that you would get from American hops. But there's that kind of intangible little bit of tropical fruit and definitely the earthy coconut stuff. And even the J17 hop had even more of that, I thought. But kind of the difference between the two and one of the ways in which we use them in this beer, the J17 was used more on the hot side than in the dry hop. Because you could tell these guys got really good quality pellets. That was the thing that we wanted to evaluate first. And that's what makes their beer so good. When Tim was talking about doing an all-Centennial beer, one of the reasons why I think they did that is they got a box of Centennial and they were like, oh, my God, this is amazing.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So not only are they doing maybe 150 different IPAs in 2 years, but they're letting the ingredient quality kind of guide how they use the hops.
Okay.
And so we did that with this beer in particular. So the J17 had more of a German noble type character to it, I thought.
Okay.
So that would do better on the hot side. So we kept that one there. And then Southern Passion had so much fresh hop oil that was just made for dry hopping. And you could tell it's so complex. it's different than Mosaic, but it's as complex as something like Mosaic, I thought, in terms of like you're going to see this evolving complexity as the beer ages. Mm-hmm. This tastes different than it did when they first tapped it on Saturday. You can tell already it's starting to evolve and change, and that's perfect to use in something like a dry hop because you know that customers that come to Cellarmaker want that.
Yeah.
They're going to expect that this super fresh, dripping with hop oil IPA is going to change when they had it on Monday or Sunday versus Friday.
Sure.
Right? And that's how I was trying to translate like homebrewing ideas to what they do and try and make that work.
Yeah. I like how the earthy character is closer to the coconut, like you keep saying, than dirt.
Yeah, not dirt, not dank. These hops didn't have any dank to them. That was like a missing component. They had a lot more of everything else, like spice kit and a little bit of tropical and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, like Mosaic is closer to dirt to me, and I still like the hop.
Or blueberry if it's
and
good.
I like
melon.
The melon, blueberry's probably the predominant one too if it's really good. But most times when people say earthy, it's like a soil character, which is fine. It really works sometimes.
Or CTZ can be that way. It has like a garlic, onion, sulfur, horseradish kind of a thing, right? That can be the other side of that earthy comment, I guess.
Yeah. This is a cleaner earthy.
Yeah, it didn't have any of those. It wasn't super dank. It wasn't super American, but it had a hint of that, and it was different. It had a hint of the New Zealand Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, there's
kind
a
of
weird
cold
crossover there between the New Zealand and the South African, definitely similarities in some of that terroir. And I think the way I describe the earthiness is, and that woodiness is, it can be a little bit fennel bulb sometimes.
Okay.
Like a fennel character, but a really nice fennel character, not like a too in your face like anise. It's really like the sriracha, I love when it gets that coconut, but then all that other dill that comes in with it is like rough for me. The J17 and the Southern Passion they don't cross that border.
Okay.
It's just a really subtle, nice element to the hop.
And what about a malt backbone for this beer? Do you use crystal malt in here?
Very little.
Like how much is very little? Are we talking 5% or
this one's
1.5%?
Yeah, 1.5%, maybe 2%.
Wow.
I think we use C20 basically, so I think we upped it up a tiny bit to get the color. Mm-hmm. So maybe we're actually at like 2.5%, but so little. It's color. That's what we're getting out of it.
So then, what else? Just your 2-row, right?
Yeah, 2-row, and then Nate's.
It was our 2-row, and then 15%. Castle Pills and
we ended up using Wireman.
Oh, Environment Pills. Sorry, Environment Pills and Maris Otter. That was crisp. Yeah.
What's the Maris Otter for?
Maris Otter kind of gives you complexity that you might want to get from a more toasty malt like Munich or like Vienna or something like that, but it has a bit of a more gentle hand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A little more dextriness to it.
Yeah, like an impression, maybe a mouthfeel without sweetness.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think it adds. The percentage, 15%, is like, it's not going to add too much flavor. But there's some impression there, definitely.
Okay. So that's 3 base malts that you blended in. Then
a little bit of acidulated. We
know
that the pH of the water that we're working with, we want to kind of dial that in. That's something that Tim does on many of his beers that are like this. So we bumped it up maybe a little bit from what he normally does just as an experiment. We have to change some parameters and kind of watch and see what they do.
Okay.
But that's the malt bill, yeah.
So let's do this. I got to get us to a break, but I want to take a phone call. And then maybe when we come back, we can talk a little bit about water, too. And, of course, we've got some more beers to try. But in the meantime, before we go to a break, let's do this. Joe from Milwaukee's on the line and wants to ask about Blam. Is Blammo?
Blammo.
Oh, Blammo. Okay, Blammo. Joe, what's happening, man?
Hey, guys. How you doing, Justin?
Doing well. Thanks for calling in. What's your question?
Good. Hey, I was fortunate enough back in December to get a guy who brought a growler of Blammo to a bottle share, and I was wondering if you guys could talk about the beer, possibly give a recipe. I love it. It's one of my favorite imperial stouts I've had in a long time, so I was wondering if you guys could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
You're one of few to get growlers of that because we only growled it for like
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, a couple of days. So Blammo is an imperial stout, 14.5%. Kind of decided like, okay, let's try to push the limit a little bit on the alcohol. We had never done anything over like 10.5 or 11. So I did some research. For me, it's like my basic strong dark beer malt bill. Lots of dark malts to really just like make it super cutting on the chocolate and the roast, and pushed the alcohol with a lot of dextrose, and I constantly fed fresh yeast into the I'm sorry, not fresh yeast. We constantly fed the dextrose into fermentation with yeast nutrient blended in also, trying to just keep that yeast going. And it did it really well, and it was really clean fermentation. It took about 8 days, so it got right through it.
Okay.
I started feeding sugar probably day 3, and then I did it again day 4. And then conditioned for a little bit on coconut, which I hand toasted, which sucks.
What do you mean, like with a torch?
Like in a little frying pan and a camping stove in the brewery.
No.
Yeah, like pound after pound, like probably like a quarter pound at a time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, my arm killed. It was probably like 3 hours.
How many pints did you drink?
Yeah.
During this?
Yeah.
Not enough. But yeah, we conditioned it on the coconut, and then we put in a couple of wood spirals of different toasts. And the beer was only on those for a little bit. I noticed, like, the thing about the wood spirals is, like, the woodiness is, like, a little too raw. It's not like slow barrel aging, that really nice, smooth flavor. It gets, like, kind of like 2x4-ish really fast. So I kept it on those for just a little bit. And then I had to transfer the beer off the coconut and the wood spirals. Didn't have enough coconut flavor yet, so I actually put on more coconut. Left it on there for another probably week, and then the beer was ready to go.
And sorry, how big was it?
About 14 and a half.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it was really good. We, one of those beers on tap in the tasting room is like an awesome thing, but a really bad thing at the same time.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Was it your first puker?
No.
Certainly not. But the frequency went up.
Yeah.
They come up to you and you're like, "This is your third Blammo in like an hour, dude." Like,
Wow.
We had to limit people to 2, right?
Oh, that's smart move.
like that.
Have we had a puker yet, Moskowitz?
I don't know.
Not that I know.
The staff would know better. It's impossible that we haven't.
Post Giants games,
we have, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Post Giants games, like percentage is going to go up.
Yeah, it's going to go way up.
Just kind of ignore that 14.5% number and just start slamming them down.
Yeah. Oh, God. And before you know it, you're sleeping on the sidewalk.
That leads to usually something that my fiance Kelly calls stout pants. It's not what you think. It's
not?
No, it's not as gruesome.
What is?
It's just when you've had too many of our really strong stouts, which we make frequently, and they just end up all over you.
That makes sense to me for some reason. All right. Hey, Joe, thank you for the phone call. I got to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk more beer. We have a Brett Saison in our glass that we haven't talked about yet, and we got some other beers on tap, too. So 888-401-BEER if you want to call in and ask questions. Still got time to get down to the Hop Grenade and enjoy the beer if you're local. We've got Cellarmaker in with us, so hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Your brewing water can be a mystery. If it's good enough to drink, it's good enough to brew with, right? We all know to perfect certain styles of beer, proper water chemistry is vital. But running water tests can be complicated and expensive, but not anymore. Industrial Test Systems is proud to introduce the new Smart Brew water testing kits, incorporating the exact iDip Smart Photometer system. The only photometer on the market that harnesses the power of the smartphone and runs water tests without you doing a pile of calculations. The iDip features two-way Bluetooth communication with the brain of the system, which is its own multilingual app. This allows limitless possibilities, including lab accuracy, free upgrades, test customization, over 35 available, mobile sharing, and more. You can keep a detailed history of your results. Email your water report to other brewers or share it on social media. Visit smartbrewkit.com now and learn more about the iDip photometer and all the tests it can do for you.
For nearly 40 years, one organization has had your back. The American Homebrewers Association. Are you a member? Why not? Join the more than 40,000 brewers who enjoy all the American Homebrewers Association has to offer. Like Zymergy Magazine, in print and online, plus the Zymergy app. Zymurgy is the leading publication for amateur brewers around the world. Supporters also get member deals at their local breweries, bars, and homebrew shops. These alone quickly pay for your membership. You'll also get great member-only resources at homebrewerassociation.org and access to AHA events like the National Homebrewers Conference and the National Homebrew Competition. The American Homebrewers Association promotes the hobby of homebrewing, protects the interests of homebrewers, and brings beer lovers together. Become a member today. It costs less than a batch of beer and gives back so much more. Visit homebrewerassociation.org. Three-time Ninkasi Award winner and Grandmaster Judge Gordon Strong invites you on a guided journey of what's new in the world of homebrewing. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques available now from Brewers Publications. Gordon brings you specific advice and sensory profiles for as-brewed, award-winning beers with delicious variations to get your creative juices flowing. This is more than just a book of recipes. It sets brewers on the path to discovering what's new in the world of homebrewing. AHA Director Gary Glass says, if you want to enter competitions or just learn more about styles that you might not have experience with, this book is going to help you tremendously. By emulating what Gordon does, you're going to make better beer. Modern Homebrew Recipes, Exploring Styles and Contemporary Techniques by Gordon Strong. Available right now from brewerspublications.com and find brewing retailers near you.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere. Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Yes! I don't care that it's Monday. People are having fun out there.
Why?
It's a good time to be at the Hop Grenade. We got Cellarmaker Brewing Company in the studio with us. Woo. A lot of their beer on tap. And in my glass, as a matter of fact. Before we move on, don't forget that our good friend Gordon Strong has put out his new book, Modern Homebrew Recipes. It's a Brewers Publications book. They do all the best ones. BrewersPublications.com is where you can find it. Modern Homebrew Recipes will take you through everything you need to know about making great recipes. Strong shares more than 100 distinctive recipes. He is a highly accredited homebrewer. Ninkasi 3 times in a row or some ridiculous thing. Most accredited BJCP judge. The dude's a badass. And his book is wonderful. Modern Homebrew Recipes, available now. All right, so we got Cellarmaker in the studio. What's the website? Cellarmakerbrewing.com?
There you go.
Good guess.
Yeah, go check it out, cellarmakerbrewing.com. And it's always a weird, because people sometimes have to go like, no, it's actually cellarmakermakesbeer-brewing.com because someone stole it. Or,
right.
So you always have to ask. But go check it out, and you can learn more about Cellarmaker. So before the break, I mentioned that we should talk a little bit about water. And I know that Nate was working with you guys on some recipes. And is water a tricky thing in San Francisco, or is this just, one final thing to tweak for you, Nate?
I know it's something that Tim had been looking at recently, too, which is cool. That's something that I've wanted to play around with. Because of the drought, my water in the East Bay is changing a lot. I can tell just based on the taste, or you mix Star Sand with it, and it goes cloudy in half a day, or it used to keep it around for like 2-3 days. So there's something changing. There's something going on. But working with San Francisco water is actually kind of a treat because it has always been low ion content and continues to be that way, apparently. And based on some of the measurements that I've been able to get recently, it seems to be also still very low. So you're starting
what does that mean?
You're starting with almost zero. You're starting with almost nothing for each of the components or attributes that you would normally manipulate in brewing.
Okay.
Like you've had gypsum, calcium sulfate, or calcium chloride, and kind of play with those components. Or you might add chalk, you might add magnesium and those sorts of things. In San Francisco, you're at single digits or just slightly above that.
Okay.
My understanding is it comes from Hetch Hetchy Valley near Yosemite, and the sides of the reservoir are very hard granite, so there's like no sediment in the water, as far as I know.
I see. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. Never knew that. That's cool.
Okay.
I could always tell it was really soft. I didn't know the parameters of it. My assistant, Wade, actually ended up taking a sample and sending it to Ward Laboratories to get it analyzed. And it kind of mirrored exactly what I thought it is. It's low chloride. It's low sulfate. The alkalinity is a little bit on the higher side, but not too crazy. It's great brewing water.
Okay. So, Nate, what did you use to test water and try to figure out where you should be?
Well, there's a Smart Brew kit, a SenSafe kit, which allows you to test for the other major components. It's a kit that comes with different strips that will give you alkalinity, sulfate, chloride, and calcium. And then it gives you hardness as well. It helps calculate that based off of those
Who
attributes.
makes this? Who makes the kit?
It's called SenSafe.
Oh, okay.
And they sell it kind of for the craft brewing industry. I think they make kits for water testing of a lot of different, that you could use in a lot of different ways, but they have a kit for the brewing industry in particular where it comes with those specific tests, and you can plug those into they have a device that allows you to test it. It works like based on visual photo stuff. So you basically, it's like a pH strip.
Yeah.
You hold it in the water for 20 seconds, put a cap over where it reads basically through photography, the attribute that's trying to read.
So it's a little device that you put the pH strip in.
Exactly, and it works just like a standard pH strip. They look very similar to a standard pH strip, and reading it and using it is really similar to that. So on the brew day when we did Blood and Thunder, I took a sample of water, and I know that based on what Tim had been doing before for we'd added gypsum during the mash, 200 grams of that. Then we had 100 grams of calcium chloride during the boil. So I could take both the statistics they had from measuring water in the past and then compare it to the statistics I get through the SenSafe kit today and kind of compare, is the water changed since last time it was measured?
Nice.
Or is it kind of in the same range since it was measured last? And is it doing what we want it to do? We want to get a certain level of sulfate and calcium and chloride by adding those, right?
Okay, got it.
And some of the things that I always look for, rule of thumb, over 50 parts per million calcium is usually a good thing in brewing. Between 50 and 100 at least is probably good for yeast health. And then things like calcium sulfate is going to give you an impression of a crisp, clean kind of hop bitterness. Too much of it can get kind of pasty and crazy, but 1 to 200 parts per million is probably a fairly safe range to play with. So that was something that we wanted to look at when making this beer, and it was cool to not only have statistics from many months ago or what the water company had provided, but you could take a sample on that day of what our brew water was when we made the beer and then plug in what we thought was going to add in terms of those salts and then come up with a real number.
And not have to guess. Like what we used to do, Tasty, right, when we're talking about water, is so we're all on East Bay Mud out here, and we would say, yeah, you can get your water report from EB Mud, which is true, but if it's changing week to week, especially like with the drought, this is a way, forget the EB Mud report, you're basically getting your own report.
Yeah, as we get further into this drought, that's going to happen. The water's going to change. There's going to be blending of sources. What used to be your water is not only just your water, other waters been blended in.
Yeah.
And now as we're moving into that kind of a thing where probably should have your own testing kit of some sort to see where you're at.
Well, not to
you
mention
can check for a baseline then. You can get a real baseline, not just one that may or may not be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you water people, but I think the eBay Mud thing is like just every 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? It's not accurate up to
their report, you mean? Yeah.
Their report.
Yeah.
So you can build your brewing water, or you kit it from your carbon filter, or whatever, however you do it. And then with the iDip is the unit the SenSafe makes. It's the iDip.
I see.
You can take those strips which have the chemicals on it. A lot of things have like a titrate kit where you have to add chemicals and measure stuff out. And it's kind of reliant upon you to do math and you to be accurate. This thing is so easy you could use it.
Oh, I was waiting for that because you lost me at math.
Right. So all the chemicals are on it is like a pH strip, and they're all just in the strip.
Okay.
So you get the strip for calcium whatever whatever.
Yeah,
it
so
is.
you
Chemical
measure the 5 attributes that come in the kit, and then it will calculate magnesium and sodium and residual alkalinity.
All your other deeper water calculations.
It reminds me of like a diabetic blood kit. Like you put it on a strip, you stick it in a machine, and the machine tells you what the contents.
And so you just need 4 mils. Yeah, it's a photometer is like what the things are called. Yeah, and it measures the thing through science and light, 2 things I don't understand. And it's like 4 mils of water. And you just shake the strip in there for 20 seconds.
Okay,
and then hit the button, and then it has an app of because everything has an app.
Yeah,
but it uploads to an app, so then you can sit there and if you guys are working on a collab or whatever, you can fire your water results to Nate.
Oh, okay, nice.
Or post them online, or do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
right?
It connects through Bluetooth. So when I brewed with Cellarmaker, I was brewing with Faction the week after that. They have different water as well.
Yeah.
So I could take a sample once again of the water when I was at Faction and get a sense of where that brewery was at. And the minerals are a little bit higher.
Okay.
And once again, we were at not using calcium sulfate, but calcium chloride. So I could dial that in with the SenSafe advanced water testing kit too.
It seemed to get pretty close.
Did it?
You tried it twice, and the second time seemed a little bit closer to
I felt like
numbers.
Taking a sample of the water and measuring immediately was better than letting the water sit around. The water will change a little bit, and they tell you that too when people who do this type of testing. That's probably the best practice. So even better reason to have the ability to measure at real time if you're trying to dial in a very small amount of something.
I thought it was cool. It's a cool thing. You can just sit
Where
there.
can I go to get it?
Sensafe.com.
Okay.
There's links on our site and everything too. But it's I don't know. I think the idea is pretty rad. I think it's going to be huge for homebrewers. You can get it right there, so then you know how much you're adding in of what. So like for your RO people,
if your water's changing a lot, or if you're building up water from scratch, and you kind of want to watch that over time and not just trust where you think you're at, you could really take some measurements around it.
So what did you end up doing to the water for your beer? Did you end up adding?
For the stuff I do at home, the ion content is even higher than. So in San Francisco is the lowest ion content that I found.
Okay.
So when you're brewing a Cellarmaker, we used a very light hand in terms of the brewing salts, and achieved exactly what we want in Tasting Blood and Thunder in my mind. And the beer with Faction is not yet done, but I felt like it guided me further to not use too much because the water mineral content was just a little bit higher than San Francisco.
Okay.
And then at home, the water content, or the ion content of the water was even higher.
Got it.
So now I know not to use too much gypsum, not too much calcium sulfate. If I don't want to use RO, I can just use what's from my tap and know where I'm at.
Got it. Okay. All right, quick question from the chat came through, and then I want to talk about this English bitter that's in my glass. But Bresimp, or I don't know his name. Writes in, hey, how did Cellarmaker get into a relationship, which is a weird way to phrase this question, get into a relationship with Tired Hands in Philadelphia? And why did you make a taco beer with them?
Well,
he wants to know.
Because there wasn't one before?
Yeah, right? Just pushing the limits.
Yeah, that's right.
Pushing the envelope of the taco spice.
You know what I like as much as beer? Tacos.
Right? It's like the beginning of an SNL, like Will Ferrell skit. Right?
Yeah.
But funny.
Wow. Well, I met... okay, so... Let me go back one step.
Okay.
I went to Maine on a trip that was basically like paid for by ratebeer.com, which was awesome. And I got to go out to Ebenezer's Pub up in Maine and do some fun stuff out there. Long story short, got to meet Joe Tucker of Rate Beer, and then came back to California to do my thing. And Joe gives me a call one day. He says, "Hey, I'm having a little event at a pub. I'm bringing out this brewer from Pennsylvania. His name's Gene Burley. He is the owner and brewer at Tired Hands. I think you should really come to this event and check out what this guy's doing." So I showed up. I kind of checked him out online a little bit and really didn't get too much info. And man, I was just blown away by the beer samples that he brought. I mean, we're talking amazing hoppy beer, amazing barrel-aged beer, amazing sour and saison. And I was like, okay, this is a guy I should know, and we should chum it up. And we should, stay in touch.
Okay.
Right? So, fast forward to pre-Cellarmaker, just by a little bit. Connor, myself, and Kelly are out on the East Coast doing a little trip. We were going up to Hill Farmstead for their anniversary, right?
A little research.
Yes.
Yeah, and basically there's one moment when we are really hungover in a car, and I just remember joking around about different things and beers we should do.
Side note, Gene's really into culinary beers. There's no parameters for his beer. He does a tomato Berliner Weiss, and it's all about getting it from the local farmer and really inspiring. He takes it farther than I ever would, but I respect that.
Okay,
but I really like it. And Tim and I were extremely hungover, and it was kind of like, what's the stupidest beer we could ever make? We were talking about stupid beer puns because that's awesome, and that's what we like to do. And and he's like driving me to the airport, and I went to Tired Hands before I went to the Hill Farmstead thing, and I'm like, man, that place is awesome. And we talked about that phenomenon. You guys have all been there. You eat tacos, they drip all over your hands, and the juices they get in your fingernails, and you wash your hands, but you're driving the car like 30 minutes later, and you get this waft of carne asada. And al pastor.
It's a good 24 hours of
and if you're still hungry, it's awesome.
So that's the phenomenon's called taco hands. We gave it a name.
It's a thing. So his brewery is Tired Hands. If you look at Tim's T-shirt, which nobody else can see, of course, but I'm referencing, it's Taco Hands, and that's the Tired Hands logo. But there's tacos and a hop in them.
That is rad.
But we threw the joke at Gene, and we were like, "Hey, man, we thought of this stupid idea. I can't believe we're even telling you this."
Right.
And he's like, "That's awesome. I saw that you just brewed batch 15." And I'm going to fly out in like 3 weeks and we're brewing Taco Hands.
Nice.
And cilantro and citra and Matueca hops and cumin and sea salt. And we're just kind of like, oh, shit, what do we get ourselves into?
Taco shells in the mash.
Wow.
There's chilies in the boil. There's lime zest, lime juice, coriander, cumin. I mean,
wow.
Loaded up with this stuff. But
lard? You had to have some lard in there.
Right? I know.
They're not real tacos.
They're probably in the frying of the tacos. So
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to get involved with it directly.
Right.
But yeah, I mean...
How did they come out? Did you love it?
It's an awesome beer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It sounds awesome. Actually, it sounds weird, but it sounds
subtlety
awesome.
is the key. Every adjunct shares like 1% of the stage, and then it's like 85% IPA at heart.
Okay.
And it's got a little bit of everything. And the idea was kind of like, this can't just be a joke because we actually have to sell 300 gallons of it. Oh, and this is also like, batch 26. So we're pretty new. People are still formulating an opinion on what we are and what we do. And we're making a taco beer. What the hell are we doing?
Right.
And it worked out really well. And it was actually like the savory element from the taco shell was something that was desirable in beer.
Okay.
To me, at least. And it was bizarre. And I was actually found myself drinking a second one.
Was it akin to a taco?
Liquid taco.
Yeah?
Liquid IPA.
Because I'm
taco.
in front of you, I think it's a little hard to kind of like say, this is a taco.
Yeah.
But if you put a taco in front of you, man, it is a great combination.
Actually pairs great with hamburgers. But so we did that. It came out right around Thanksgiving when we had first opened. So we were like 2 months old. And then people talked about it a lot. And we're like, oh, shit, we got to make this taco beer again. So I'm like, all right, Cinco de Mayo, let's do it.
Nice.
We did it. We're usually closed on Mondays. We open up on a Monday. I'm like, nobody's going to come. It's a Monday. They don't know we're open, packed. Okay, so we did it Cinco de Mayo again this year. And still, it's probably the most requested beer of ours.
I'm surprised I haven't heard you guys referred to as the taco beer guys now.
I know, but
you run the risk with a successful beer like that. You do. Do you mean the taco beer guys? Oh yeah, I know them.
Right. What's that one that makes the pizza beer?
Mamma Mia.
Oh man, they're known as the pizza beer guys, and I don't want to be like.
But that's all they do.
Was the shell, the taco shell, the corn, right?
Yeah.
No, there's a video. You can probably still find it on the internet, and I'm like throwing them in the mash tun like one at a time. Like
in the morning, I drive over to La Palma in the Mission, and I buy like their freshest taco shells, and I walk in, and like at some point they're gonna start to recognize me and be like, oh no,
it's the
because
taco beer.
I grab everything. Like I'm just stuffing a bag, and the whole crew is like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Like this guy needs more. I'm like, I need more over here.
Trying to make 300 gallons of beer.
Did you have to do anything to make it a pleasant corn flavor? Or was it an issue?
We got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with corn flavor?
Well, but it could be an off flavor, right? If it was, people are like, oh, well, that's...
Yeah, like DMS, sweet corn, but like corn?
Yeah, corn's an ingredient.
Well,
I agree.
I actually add even 75 pounds more flaked corn in there just to accentuate that corn flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see how, actually, with those other spices in there, too, some cilantro, all that, the corn's perfect.
It'd be great. Well, you have to realize that the DMS versus corn, it's not, DMS isn't corn, but it's
like cream corn.
Yeah, but it makes you think of corn, and that's what we identify with. But it's not a corn flavor like corn would be.
Okay.
So if you're using corn and it tastes like corn, that's great.
Okay.
Because if you're using an ingredient to get that flavor.
But I like that. Next time I'm just going to add DMS.
You should cover your boil and no, it's fine. It's butterscotch beer.
You get it concentrated in little drops.
Right.
Exactly. Then you'd be back to homebrewing. So.
All right. So moving on to another beer. I've got your English bitter in my glass. What's this called?
It's called Little Lies.
Little Lies. Yeah. This beer makes me want to chug beer.
Yeah.
Like it's a thirsty man's beer.
It's 3.2, you can.
But not just the alcohol part. Like, every sip I take, I go, oh, you should take a bigger sip next time. It's a very, thirst-quenching English bitter.
A little toasty. Yeah. It's not too heavy on the tongue, and it finishes real nice and clean, and you're just like, oh, man. But there's still that little nagging, for me, bit of, malty, toasty goodness that you need to have more of it.
I really get excited to make beers like this because we do so much kind of big dark beer and hoppy beer. As a brewer, you want to have a consummate resume of what I can do, and bitters are one of my favorite things. Like when I first moved to the Bay Area, going to Magnolia and drinking their bitters and drinking Prescription Pale, which are heavy Maris Otter and crystal, English crystals. That there's a flavor there that I just love, and I want to recreate that.
It's. I hope this is a compliment because I mean it. I've just put my finger on what the thirst quenching thing is. It's like iced tea.
Yes.
It's way fucking better than iced tea. I would never order an iced tea, but people order iced tea because it's that refreshing sort of. That it has that kind of flavor to it.
I don't get you.
And I'm shocked also, I have to be honest, that you make this style of beer so good because I just know your hoppy beers so well and some of your other more radical ones. This is a very subtle beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's English Maris Otter. There's a good amount of spelt in there.
Okay.
Which adds kind of an enhanced nuttiness to it, spelt being related to wheat. I find some similarities to Maris Otter with it. And then a good amount of, I would have to look at the recipe, but I think C120. And there's something about that C120 using that and Maris Otter that you get that really intense nuttiness and toastiness that if I used C45 and more of it, try and replicate, you wouldn't get it. You get a whole new kind of flavor. And then mostly EKG, East Kent Goldings. I actually realized I had run out of East Kent Goldings the day of the brew, so I substituted in some Styrian Solea, which is another favorite hop of mine, which is basically related to Tettnang.
Okay.
And little bit.
Is that German?
It's
American.
A Slovakian.
Okay.
Yeah. And the last hop was New Zealand Kohatu, which is very European in general, yeah.
But the intention when you woke up was all EKG?
Yeah, the first batch was, and sometimes we just do so much rotation that today's, okay, we're going to do Little Lies today. Yeah. We're let's just do it. And then it's oh crap, I don't have the EKG. That was fun.
No, and I think it came out great because of it. What'd you say, 3.7%, Connor?
3.2.
3.2.
Yeah, it's English ale yeast. I pick up on a little tiny bit of diacetyl in there, which actually makes it really nice for me. I think that adds to the whole body and the English quality of it. It's very subtle.
Do you hop it normally, or do you hop it more like your IPAs, like late editions and things?
There's a little bit of bittering hops at 60 minutes. There's a 20-minute edition of a couple of pounds of the Styrian. And then Whirlpool, EKG, and Kohatu, no dry hop.
No dry hop,
and not too big on the hops in general.
Okay. You ever put it on cask?
We haven't done this one on cask. The thing about the cask, okay, I'm not a huge cask beer fan.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd rather drink draft beer, and my casks, if you ever drink them, they're closer to draft carbonation, and I try to serve them cold.
Well, if you're serving IPAs, it's probably better off doing that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't think they pour that well on cask. But this beer
it might go
would be a better choice for cask.
Connor just gave me a cask beer, I think, right?
It's the Blood and Thunder with New Zealand Rawaka and South African Southern Passion hop.
Everybody out in the pub is raving about it.
So back to the original Blood and Thunder in a way.
That's rad. and carbonated more like a keg beer.
Yeah,
we use that
That's fucking
5-gallon
great.
pin cask in the pub quite a bit, and just do super super weird stuff that we would never want to do 300 gallons of, but. Lots of real fruit and stuff that doesn't make sense from a labor perspective, but lots of real fruit and excess hops and
people are starting
weird
to
stuff.
know us for stuffing like donuts and casks. And,
Yeah,
and
we did an
pies.
entire pumpkin pie
Because
and a
you were
cask of Blamo.
wow,
an entire pumpkin pie.
This was just to counter becoming the taco
Sure,
guys, isn't it? Because
yeah.
you're like, hey, fuck that. We put donuts in there.
Look over here.
Well, now you're the pumpkin pie guys. That's my kind of guys. What was the beer?
Pie is good.
Blamo,
the one we talked about earlier.
yeah.
14.5% pumpkin pie.
So this Blood and Thunder on cask is on cask here at my bar?
Yeah,
people
you
are
can
having it
drink
out
one
there
right now.
Oh, okay. Come on out to the Hop Grenade. That's not going to last more than tonight. So
5 gallons. Get it.
excellent. Okay, well, that's really good.
Glad you like the bitter though,
dude. It's so good, and I'm not surprised. When I say I'm surprised it's good, I just mean the style. I'm not surprised it's good. I'm surprised that you guys are able to hone in on a style that well.
Mhm.
And I love this mistake.
Backpedaling already.
I love this hops mistake because maybe I wouldn't like it as much if it was all EKG. I don't know what it is.
It's not the first time they've brought English ale yeast into their brewery as well. They use this in some of their other beers.
Yeah, all our dark beers, except for Blamo, actually, is 002,
Okay.
the Fuller's yeast.
Do you use several different yeasts in general?
Mostly 001.
Okay.
And then 002 for anything English or dark.
Yeah.
I think it just works so much better with that. And then, of course, like Saisons and stuff like that. We do some Belgian stuff like that, but mostly 001.
Okay.
So the American Brown, you do that with 001 or 2?
001. I think the first
You said dark,
two
right?
times I homebrewed it, I
Oh,
did
you-
002, and I got that kind of impression of diacetyl, which I didn't want in that beer, so I was like, nah, I got to go to 001 on this.
Did I read that before Cellarmaker, you tasted Janet's Brown at a beer fest, and that got you started? Oh, I got to brew an American Brown Ale.
Yeah, I was at Boonville. I remember it was like pretty late at night, and Tasty had a keg on, and I tried it, and you have that moment. It's like, oh, brown ale. Just add a little more hops, and it's good.
Hoppy Brown. Nobody's ever thought of that.
Right.
I mean, I haven't. You don't find it commercially hardly anywhere.
Yeah, that's
Still,
true.
to this day.
So that got me on the kick. I probably homebrewed that beer. Tim's Brown is what we call it. And,
Okay.
Janice Brown?
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, you got real creative with the name. You're like, so it's like Janet's Brown, but it's Tim's.
Oh, it was called like Murphy Brown for a little bit, and like but at Cellarmaker, it's always been Tim's Brown, and definitely a lot to Tasty. I've never seen the recipe to Janet's Brown, but
we've certainly argued.
We've argued about brown ales many times.
What do you argue about?
His is too much roast and.
Oh, okay.
That's right. No big deal. It's good. I like it.
You do like it though?
I had it. I was at Cellarmaker not too long ago when it was on, and it was very good.
Do you try every brown that you see, especially if it has a name in front of it? Taste it?
If it doesn't say like English brown, I'm going to try it.
You will do it.
Because once it says that,
Tasty also has Vinny brewing it for him.
Right.
yeah, I got the seal of approval.
Right. You got to test it. So is that's one that you have on? You don't have anything on regularly, do you?
There's a couple of beers that show up more often than not.
Okay.
Tim's is one.
Tim's Brown. Daphne is our house blonde, which is borderline pale ale, but dry hopped 1.5 pounds per barrel, super aromatic, 4.8.
Okay. I heard some of that's here somewhere.
There's a keg here. I don't know if it's on tap, but
I don't have it tapped yet for some reason.
Coffee and Cigarettes is kind of a beer we keep on about 7-8 months of the year.
Okay.
It's probably our most popular beer.
Yeah, we've had that on here, and people love it. They come in and they're like, what the fuck?
Really? That's your number one seller?
Wow. I would say it's the most.
Well,
asked
IPA
about
always
beer.
sells the most.
Throw hops to the side.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's it.
Okay, wow.
So what do you think about breweries that, come out of the gate saying we're not going to brew an IPA? And they do it sort of on principle, right? And they're like, everyone does that, so we're going to do something else. But it is foolish, right?
I would actually say when I first decided I want to open a brewery, this is what I'm doing with my life. I was like, IPA is awesome, but everybody does it. Let's do these weird beers and yada yada.
Okay.
And worked at City Beer Store and literally just watched that IPA fridge get opened up. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
IPA is not dead. It's never going to be dead. People always want a better one than what they have.
Yeah.
They always want a fresher one and one that's more hopped, bigger aromatics. But
and just from a business perspective, it doesn't matter if you like it or not.
I don't like
it's
that.
the best-selling beer and craft beer in America.
we joke sometimes that it's like we have a 6% pale ale, and we're like, shit, if we call this IPA, people it's going to sell like 20%
Just change
faster.
the name.
And throw Citra in it and tell them it's in there.
When you're selling 60% of what you make over the bar, you can make IPA in a little bit of a different way. Maybe than what big production guys would do, right?
Sometimes the way we make IPA makes no sense for production and kegs out of house.
But you can.
But screw it, we got these South African hops. Oh, they're kind of expensive. Oh, the New Zealand hops kind of expensive, but 60% of the bar.
And
screw
load
it.
up on them.
Load it up. 4.5 pounds per barrel. Huge aromatics. It's almost like not fair to a brewery that sells all their beer in a keg to have aromatics like that because it's really expensive to do. But if you're selling over the bar, screw it.
People will pay for it and line up for it in the tap room.
We've to an extent spoiled ourselves and our customers a little bit. Like it's you can't go into Safeway and buy a 6-pack of beer that tastes like our beer. It doesn't
There's no
exist.
face ripping IPA in Safeway. I hate to break it to you.
You got to get your ass down there to the tasting room.
Got
them locked in there.
Bring a clean growler.
Do you guys distribute out of the Bay Area at all?
San Diego, we hit 3-4 times a year. We got friends who are driving down to Beechwood. They bring stuff to them, and then San Diego as well. I'm going down there in 3 weeks for Festival of Dankness, which we were invited to, surprisingly, somehow.
You guys are trending.
Yeah, that word. We're excited about it. San Diego's always been like a big inspiration, I think, to both Tim and I and the beers they do down there. And Beechwood, I think, just destroys it with some of the best IPA I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, they're good.
So it's always an honor that they'll actually buy our IPA and put it on next to that. And
that's cool.
So we try and get around California, but it's all in state right now.
Okay. All right. I got to let you guys go. Let you get out in the bar there and mingle with your fans.
We have one thing to do before we all leave, though.
You do? I have another question for you, too. But
oh,
God, no.
We brought a couple of these to share. It wouldn't be a Cellarmaker event evening without a couple of Underbergs to go down.
I saw this in your tap room.
Yes.
Can I confess before I do this that the taste of anything resembling Jägermeister makes me throw up in my mouth instantly?
This is going to be amazing.
Do we have a trash bucket?
The last time I chugged this, I threw up.
I don't like it. I don't like them either.
I guarantee you that last time you chugged them, they weren't body temperature like these are.
Oh, they just came out of your ball pocket.
These are Connor temperature.
These are fucking
I run hot,
temperature.
too. I run really hot.
You're like a cat.
I also have to drive home tonight. Can I fake it?
They say after a good meal, so why not taste that meal again?
You're drinking a hearty ESB.
We're about to eat. Shouldn't we wait?
No, you guys.
No, we're doing it right now.
Yeah. Your listeners are like on the edge of their seat right
listeners
now.
Don't give a shit about what we do.
Oh, they're gonna make you guys gonna make me.
So
puke.
You just got to screw the top off.
Nate knows.
All right, let me ask my question before I do it because if I puke, I have to go to break. My question is: every time we have one of our favorite brewers in here, the following day they announce some big information, like they scoop us. So has anything happened? Like, are you guys getting bought out by SAB Miller? Are you? Last time it was Lagunitas.
It was the only way that we could get those South African hops.
Or are you? Is there some big? Are you opening a Goose Island? Are you opening a brewery in North Carolina? Like, is there anything you want to confess?
Here's the big news. My birthday's Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you. So the drinking starts now. Thanks, Tim.
It starts with this Underberg.
So the problem with the Underberg 2 in the bottle is that it pours slowly out. And so it's not like I can throw it past
your teeth.
There's actually, it's like, I forget what it is, but like exactly 7 or 8 slow drops that go into your mouth.
You have a nice bitter as a chaser, Justin.
There you
Killer.
go.
What's the point of the Underberg? I never really known.
I have my bin right here. Am I on camera, Beav? If we're going to do it, we might as well do it right.
The best thing in my life.
It's the same guy who wanted to get addicted to heroin.
I'm going to vomit. And are you supposed to do no hands or something?
Well, there's different techniques. Yeah, I mean you can hold it if you want, but I do the kind of the dolphin with holding it in my mouth and go back and forth a little bit.
What the fuck is the dolphin?
Maybe it speeds it up a little bit. I don't know.
Is that the dolphin, Connor? Where you hold? Okay, no hands. You put. Are you drinking yours right now?
Connor did not even wait.
Jesus,
that's all right. I have another one for him. So.
Connor has to do 2.
Somebody can do more than one?
All right. Wow. Well, here we go.
If anybody in the Hop Grenade watching in the studio has a weak stomach, don't look at me because I'm about to throw up.
Are we cheersing or are we not?
Cheers for glory to this awful Underberg.
So glad I'm in a separate room.
Yes.
Oh, that looks rough.
Oh, baby. Settled.
That was the best
Just
5
one
seconds of
camera.
silence on the show ever.
Just got thrown an advertisement in there.
I take it back. Your bitter tastes like shit.
It tastes like licorice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Oh yeah, I am close.
That was the harshest.
Yeah, we got
Underberg I've ever had.
a couple people in the taste room there.
Oh, we got some other Underbergs going down. Yeah. Way to go. Great. Now I have to take a cab home with you fuckers.
Your eyes are a little teary. Are you okay?
It's medicine. It's medicine.
Wow. Oh, it's awful. Why do you do that to yourself?
You're going to have an Underberg sponsor now.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, because I just gave such a glowing recommendation.
I'd rather eat a fresh turd. Underberg. Good fresh turd.
Cellarmaker Brewing Company, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being in the studio with us. They're going to come out and hang out with you in the bar. And
yeah, watch.
I never noticed. You guys are pretty hot. I don't know.
What?
All of a sudden, you guys are pretty hot.
The Underberg did it to you?
No, I just think they're hot.
Does Scott have gay alcohol goggles?
Yeah. No. Scott,
Wait,
those are his
Scott,
transgender goggles.
One more.
Someone's going home with the Cellarmaker, boys.
I can't get the licorice taste out of my mouth.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, quit crying.
I dislike that.
You didn't do it.
I didn't have to do one.
Yeah, bitch. Fuck. Let me burp in your face.
All right, boys, come back anytime, will you? We got to talk. We got to talk more beer.
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty of your method and location is that we have endless beer to talk about.
Yeah.
So please come back, hang out with us. Cellarmakerbrewing.com. You can go check it out. Go visit them in San Francisco and thank them for the good beer, not for the Underberg. Underberg.
Underberg.
It's the session. We'll be back, I think.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their FlexCell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, FlexCell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program. Certified beer server, certified Cicerone, and master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SanaClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. Brewing Network listeners receive 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code IPA at checkout. See terms and conditions for full details.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
All right, welcome back to the program. Man, Monday is the new Friday out there. It's great. People are hanging out, drinking some Cellarmaker beer, having a good time here at the Hop Grenade. You still got a chance to get down here. We got some beer on cask if it didn't kick yet. Well, it might have. Everyone was raving about it out there. Thanks to the boys from Cellarmaker for coming on the show and bringing beer and hanging out with us and feeding us Unterberg. Which I can still taste in weird ways. Bevo,
when I burp, I taste it.
Yeah, at the break, the first thing Bevo did was say, I need to get my lips around that thing. I need to be part of the club.
Okay, first of all,
that is what you
no,
said.
that
No,
is not what I said.
and also I would like an Unterberg.
Right.
That's inappropriate. No, I just said I wanted to be part of the club, and instantly I regretted that decision because then I gagged.
Yeah, but what about now?
But now I feel fantastic.
Great. More drinking on the job. You didn't like the peppermint, right?
Yeah, no. I had a really bad life experience with peppermint schnapps.
Life experience.
It was a life experience because it lasted for more than one day.
I like how she calls throwing up a life experience.
I guess if it did last for more than one day, that is.
And I actually don't buy peppermint anything. I don't buy peppermint toothpaste, peppermint gum.
All since then.
It's done.
Changed you forever.
It's the same reason I can't do because of the Jaeger flavor that is in there too. So F the Cellarmaker boys for that, but thank them for bringing beer in.
You know, you can actually
not my thing either.
You can sell them at beer bars. I did not know that. Why is that?
Yeah, because they're actually registered as a medicine, basically, an aperitif. Because of the digestive ingredients that they have in them, they can be sold. So a lot like you can sell NyQuil, right? The alcohol content in NyQuil is pretty high, but you don't need a liquor license to sell it.
So you can sell it, and you don't. anywhere.
Yeah.
Not just a beer bar, anywhere.
They don't have to have a license for alcohol.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we won't, but we could, for example.
Well, we won't. Why? Because Justin doesn't like peppermint?
Because if I have to walk in here and even look at it every day, I'll become nauseous every day. I'm like Pavlov's dog, dude.
You are very sensitive.
I am.
You really are.
Fragile.
See,
you don't want to see that bullet belt of Underberg around the bar?
thing
No.
is, I've always been this way. It's just coming to light. It's a very complex, tangled web I've had to weave to exist on this planet in this capacity. And but you'll find it like at all sorts of beer bars all over the bay. Yeah. And people do it. I don't know why, but they do.
It'll get you there.
Hey, real quick, don't forget about our great sponsor over at Adam and Eve. You can go to adamandeve.com and use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY, and you can buy dildos and panties, and you can buy masks, DVD. Like, there's all sorts of cool stuff that you get. And if you use the coupon code, you get 50% off just about any one item. And then you get like 10 free DVDs, and you get free shipping. And you get a gift for her, which is cool. Like, it's a thing that you use for her. And you get a gift for him, if you have a him, too. That's a thing. And then there's a gift for both of you, which I'm really dying to know what that is, actually. I haven't ordered myself, but what is the both of you?
I think it's divorce papers.
Because doesn't the way sex works, like, either one is happy or the other's happy? It's never both of you, right? Like, no. Am I wrong?
Well,
I'm pretty sure you're not doing it right.
Unless they both like anal.
Then that's a scene. Then you're never. It's never. So maybe that's what maybe the gift for both of you is a butthole.
That's what I'm thinking.
Can I just put this out to the listeners?
On this, as you can tell.
Can somebody please start up a tasty quote book? Like, this has to happen.
Yeah,
I've kind of been trying.
Yeah. Anyway, you get all that stuff plus free shipping. Use coupon code BNARMY. This is a real thing. And they support us because you support them. So go buy your creepy stuff through adamandeve.com, if you will. On that note,
now on to Utah.
We're going to talk about the Mormon. We're about to move into the Mormon state.
Really.
My brother just moved to Utah. As a matter of fact. Coincidentally. We've got Brian McRae in the studio with us. He's a listener, friend of ours from Utah, and he came to talk to us about the Utah beer scene because we thought it was interesting. Homebrewing is recently legal in Utah, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new, but back in 2009 is when they officially legalized it. But
yeah, I call that recent.
Yeah, it's pretty recent. And but
there were homebrewers before then, right?
Oh, yeah. There's one of the oldest stores there is a beer nut. They've been selling for decades. That kind of
interesting. And so it's not illegal to sell brewing equipment. But I wonder if they ever kind of gotten shaken down. Like, hey, we know what you're doing here. We're watching you.
Not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure they just kind of got left alone.
Okay.
Because they're just selling grains and yeast and all that nonsense.
But they could never homebrew themselves and have it around.
No, definitely not. And there wasn't a whole lot of homebrew competitions. None.
Yeah,
in the state, that kind of thing.
I made sure to visit. I went to a homebrew shop in 2008, Utah.
It was
pretty open. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And they had everything out in the open. You could buy like any standard homebrew shop, but you could tell it was in a transition phase. It wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah, I think everyone felt kind of nervous. It's like someone to follow me home. But
yeah,
right.
No.
Did you have to just keep talking like we do with the distilling, like allegedly this and theoretically that?
I'm going to go home and I'm going to not do anything with these.
Was that what it was like, having conversations with the sales guys?
No.
It was way more open than that.
Yeah, because they're really, really cracked down on alcohol itself, but they really didn't care too much about this until they actually brought it up in like the legislature, and then there were legislators who were like, "Oh, so now if we legalize homebrew, you're going to put it into baby bottles, right? Because you can."
Right. Yeah. We know what those arguments are like.
And you're like, actually, yes, that's the first thing we thought of. That's why we want to do this.
It helps them sleep, whatever it takes.
In your home if you don't have the facility to make sure it's healthy.
That type of stuff.
That exactly. Yeah.
So.
Different accent.
Do you know of anybody whoever got prosecuted for homebrewing? Were there ever any stories about that? Like, you do have to be careful because so and so got busted.
No,
nothing.
I never heard
that.
a story like that. Yeah.
Okay. But anyhow, so in 2009, it gets legalized, which God bless America.
Right.
It's
not the last state, so that says something.
Yeah, really.
So I feel like we have to talk a little bit about kind of alcohol regulations in Utah in general so that we can understand maybe what happened when they legalized homebrewing. So there are ABV restrictions in Utah, right?
Right, yeah. So the most you can buy in a grocery store, that's all they sell is beer, and it can't be above 4% ABV.
So bottled beer in a grocery store, nothing above 4.
Nothing above 4%.
And they can't
or
sell
lower.
liquor.
And they can't sell liquor, no wine, nothing. They even
wine.
Even
Wow.
there was it was I want to say 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They passed some legislation to pull out even like the Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh,
All those
interesting.
they called them the Alco Pops.
Yeah, that's the industry.
Yeah, so
name.
they got rid of those because they thought, kids are going to want to drink those automatically just because kids are stupid.
And it says lemonade.
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
And parents don't pay attention to their children at all, which is partially true. There's 40 per family.
Right. Where do people buy liquor and wine?
You have to go through the state-sanctioned DABC, so the state-run liquor stores.
Okay.
That's what they do.
So it's not that you can't get wine. You just have to go through
they make it as difficult as possible. They just make it available. That's as far as the state's concerned. We have to make it available.
Okay.
But we don't have to go beyond that. We're not going to make it easy.
Yeah.
We're just going to make it available.
What are those stores like?
They're open for 1 hour a day.
Is that right?
Right.
1 day a month.
Wow. Well, describe it. I mean, is it like a lot of weird empty shelves? And stuff?
No, it's actually quite full, and craft beer's actually done well because those sections have grown. So they're not great business people because they don't care about business, but they do recognize that more and more people are ordering like craft beer, buying craft beer. So those sections have grown. They're bringing more into the state slowly but surely.
But the craft beer in those sections in a bottle also has to be 4% or below.
No. In the DABC, it's open.
Oh.
It's fair game. Everything goes. They sell liquor, wine, and what they call hard beer.
Okay.
Or heavy beer. Excuse me. They call it heavy bear.
Are there any restrictions on the ABV of
No.
beer then? So we can do 14% barley wines, whatever.
Yeah. There's no restrictions once it's in the DABC.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
No.
And then is there a DABC in every community, or do you have to drive, a half hour?
It can be a little difficult to get to sometimes. We're kind of lucky where we live. It's about a 5-minute drive or so to one.
Okay.
But the next closest one is probably 20 minutes.
You bought your house based on the...
We absolutely did.
Yeah. You were like, so here's the criteria.
We paced it off.
3 bedrooms, 5 blocks from the liquor store.
2 bathrooms. That comes right before the bathrooms.
Yeah. Okay. What about kegged beer? So when you go to bars or brew pubs, ABV limits there?
Same thing. Yeah. That's one of the biggest frustrations is you can't get higher than 4% on draft either.
Really? I thought there was a distinction between the bottles, and maybe what I was misinterpreting is that you can buy these bottles at the state-run liquor store.
Right. You can also buy them at one of these, restaurants or things like that. We've got a couple of pretty nice beer bars in town that have a really, really impressive bottle selection.
Okay.
But it's still 4% or below on draft. They call it the keg law, and they have a limitation on exactly how much can be in how the volume.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to say it's like 2 liters. It might be a gallon, but you can't have any liquor in something larger than a gallon. Above 4%.
So I remember being at Squatters in 2008 when I visited.
I've been there, yeah.
Yeah, nice beers.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a very special beer that had almost double-digit alcohol or close to it.
Right.
And you had to there was special protocol. You couldn't just go to the bar and order it. You had to sit down, have a meal or something like this. They had some kind of rules around it. It was very
yeah. There's a lot of
particular.
different licensings. So they've got an interesting set of licenses. So it's kind of like a per capita. So every city, every township has a limitation on the number of licenses they can provide based on the number of people there.
Okay.
And then they can only have them so close together.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
that's not dissimilar to other places.
No, not
too.
necessarily.
The ABC decides that, and so, the city of Concord and the ABC, either one of them here in California, could decide to limit the amount of liquor licenses and deny another. For example, when we mentioned that we were going to be a bottle shop as well, it did have to go up the ladder a little bit because there's a liquor store around the corner that way, and there's a liquor store around the corner the other way, and they wanted to make sure if we were another liquor store, they would have said no.
Right.
So that's not too dissimilar
it's
to
pretty
other.
close. There's a brewery that they've been around for a while. They just recently relocated down to the valley, and they're called Shades of Pale. And he's been kind of fighting. He just wants to sell his beer.
Okay.
But he can't because there's no more tavern licenses, and a tavern license in Utah would be just somebody who can pour their beer. Now, a lot of his beer he sells in the grocery store, so they're 4%. So we could actually serve those on tap. But he's got some other high point ones that he would have to be able to pour from a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no more tavern licenses.
Wow.
He's not allowed to have one. He's like, but I'm not a tavern.
Right.
I'm a manufacturer.
Okay.
I just want to be able to let people taste my beer because that's all I'm trying to do is just sell my product, get a little feedback and sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And he can't do it. So he actually got the city to allow a new license for him, very special. Yeah, it's kind of a big step. But now he's got to go through the state. Now he's got to get the tavern license from the state.
Okay.
So now he's going through that process, and so we'll see what happens there. But at least he got permission from the city to have this kind of special qualification for a tavern license based on a manufacturing.
In your experience, and I don't know your level of expertise on this, but
very low.
So the people, do you think that the people running the state, the people who this decision has to go to, are the same people or the same type of people that created these laws in the first place? In other words, are they still the same religious people, the same kind of blue law type of...
It's healthy.
Well, we have... so you've got the legislators, and the legislation is, by some estimates I've heard, they think about 85% LDS.
Okay.
So
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, Latter-day Saints, Mormons. They think it's about 85%. I've heard as high as 90.
Okay.
And most of them, there's a few of them who are very progressive. They're like, I think there's one up in the outside of Park City, which is one of the more progressive areas. He's like, look, I don't drink, but I don't agree with my church on this. We need to be a lot more liberal on this. We need to be able to bring in business, things like that.
Okay.
But there's other ones who are just, no, I believe my constituency doesn't want this at all, which is not accurate, and it's balanced, I'm sure, in most places. The percentage of LDS people in the state is dwindling.
It is.
It's still a little over 50% for sure, but
okay.
That's just an immigration people coming in kind of thing, right?
A lot of it is, yeah.
So the populace, obviously, they're a lot of Mormons. Are people going to handle craft beer, right? There's no indication that higher alcohol beers are a problem.
No, not at all. In fact, Utah,
Mormons are going to start having sex.
Yeah, I mean,
with this
they're
craft beer.
Whoa, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
They're going to just have one wife.
Craft beer leads to monogamy.
Oh, it's estrogen. I don't feel like having two wives.
Yeah,
you're out.
They're not allowed to have coffee either. So no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right,
so
yeah.
and there's this weird distinction between coffee and caffeine, that kind of thing. So, but I heard one comedian once say that. I can't smoke, I can't drink, so what's the point of coffee? I don't want to stay awake anyway.
Yeah, good call.
Naps are better.
And I'm just, look at if these are elected officials, I think that there's something to be said for who your community is, and these are the people that they elected. So I'm actually not asking because I want to judge whether they're Mormon or not. I'm just curious if it's the same type of legislators that did it in the first place. And it sounds like maybe it is.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
But then you've got the DABC as well, which are an appointed body. And even this appointed body, and they're kind of the ones who make the rules and make a lot of decisions on behalf of, how alcohol is handled and run in the state. It's still 75% LDS. I think two of the appointees are non-LDS.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That kind of thing. So
okay.
But they don't run the whole thing as a business like you normally would think they would. The numbers I've heard, they've been making money hand over fist. Like increasing by like 10 to 20% a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're making millions and millions of dollars in revenue, and this year they cut the budget by $500,000.
Wow. Okay.
I think, we're doing too well. Pull back.
It's interesting.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to get obvious, guys.
Yeah,
This is a boon.
Yeah.
What a racket.
Yeah, and all the money, all the tax revenue goes to just like school lunches.
Okay.
So apparently we've got...
You got some healthy Utah kids.
Apparently.
I like that.
Could be a lot healthier, too.
Could be. But
if I go there and I see a bunch of fat Utah kids, I'm not buying it.
That's right.
All right. Now, it can't be that brewers aren't always asking for these laws to change. I mean, that must happen every year, right?
I'm honestly not sure. It's been my understanding that a couple of the larger breweries might actually be lobbying to keep those like the keg laws where they are.
Really?
Well, tap handles. I don't want Fat Tire to come in and take over my tap handle because we're number one in the state right here.
Yeah.
What if I lose some tap handles or
Good
have to?
point.
So I think some of the bigger ones aren't necessarily pushing for a change. But
are they bringing in beer like a 4% version of Fat Tire?
No.
Mm-mm. No, but that's what he's saying, that if the law changed, they would start bringing in beer. New Belgium would go, new market, Salt Lake City.
Right, we can get Fat Tire in the DAB in the liquor stores, but we can't get it on draft anywhere, and you're not going to find it in 9 out of 10 restaurants around the valley. But if they could come in very easily like that, then you'd be having Fat Tire on pretty much everywhere, right? It's
Uinta's Utah, right?
Yeah, Uinta's big in Utah.
Yeah, they're big brewery.
They're very large. They, in fact, about a year ago, they got a big VC influx. You know, and they're going gangbusters.
Wow.
What's that?
Viet Cong?
Viet Cong, yeah. A lot of them. They have small people.
Good workers.
There you go.
Yeah, they were starting to produce a lot more beer when the Viet Cong came in.
They can get right in there and clean things out.
Yeah, it was really a boon for business there. I went to Uinta early on in the BN. Jamil and I were on a road trip. And we
Uinta?
I went to Uinta. At the same time, I went to Squatters, too. But we checked out the brewery, and good beer, nice people.
Yeah, I like them a lot there.
Okay. So... All right, so homebrewing becomes legalized. And do you see a change then in the homebrewing scene when that happens? Is it growing because of that?
It's grown tremendously, I think, at least especially in like the last 3 years. It feels to me it's gotten really, really big. My club was formed just about 3 years ago.
What's your club?
The Latter-day Brewers.
Okay.
Here, check out their logo, Jay, on this bottle here. Yeah, we got a bottle. What is that, porter?
Coconut porter.
That's rad. It's like a carboy with the tie and the little shirt, like
I
pocket
got a big one on the back of my shirt if you want to see that. But
that's good stuff.
Are there any LDS members of your club?
No, there wouldn't be.
Not with a name like that. Because you can't
reveal.
drink.
They can't drink, right?
No, they won't reveal.
Are there?
If they are, they haven't told us, right? Because their bishop might find out, and that would be a very bad thing.
Aren't there like lesser, more like every religion? Like Bevo's a terrible Christian. She just did.
I'm not a terrible Christian.
Great. I mean, she was shooting up heroin and Underberg at the break.
Yep.
Yet she's a aren't there like lesser versions of LDS, or is it all or nothing?
No, they call them Jack Mormons.
Oh, okay.
They call them Jack Mormons. They're people who consider themselves to be Mormon. They attend church occasionally, but I'm going to drink my coffee anyway. I'm going to have the occasional beer. And
okay, so like every other religion.
Pretty much,
yeah. Okay.
I'm okay with part of it, but not all of it, so I'm just going to do what I want to do.
But none of those are in your Latter-day Saints?
Not that I'm aware of, but you never know.
All right. How many members in the club?
We're actually up to 65 this year or something like that. We probably gained 30 new members this year alone.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so we've been really growing like crazy.
What's the trend?
Yeah. What do you attribute that to?
I think a lot of it is, well, obviously, I think Utah's a little bit behind the curve, and, homebrewing's been going across the country. So we're kind of just starting to pick up speed there. But
I see.
It's 2011 in Utah.
It really is. Yeah.
Homebrewing has been paralleling craft beer in interest as well.
It has. And we're also growing in that scene as well. We've had, like 4 new breweries kind of open up in the last couple of years. But it was very, very plateaued for several years when it was growing everywhere else.
Yeah, so
not that it's easy to open up a craft brewery in Utah. It's very difficult.
Is it?
I bet it is.
Because of the same type of laws?
Partially. Well, I mean, imagine a small person who wanted to open up a tap room. They can't. Unless they want to serve only 4% beers, they can't open up a cost-effective tap room. They have to have an entire bottling line, and they have to be able to bottle and serve everything like that. Brian Coleman he owns Two Row Brewing Company. He's one of our club members, and I brought some of his beers. He just opened up about, I don't know, a month ago, 6 weeks officially.
Okay.
So he only sells out of his establishment, and he can only sell right there. That's it. I mean, like some restaurants have come down and bought from him because we're cool with the under 60,000 barrels, I think, self-distribution.
Okay.
But he's not going to sell to the DABC to be distributed there because it's going to just kill his profit margins.
I see.
And he can't make any money on, like pints, tasters, anything like that because of the laws. All of his stuff is above 4%.
I'd be terrified to open anything in Utah. It is not on the Hop Grenade location list.
Nope.
I'll tell you right now.
I would be afraid too.
Yeah, like just see. Do people go out for... I went to Squatters because I had heard good things about it, and I needed dinner.
Right.
But, like, people come to the Hop Grenade because you kind of go out drinking. You go have a few pints. Do people do that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple really nice beer bars downtown. The Bayou, which is actually owned by the same people as the Beer Nut. It's great. They've got a huge bottle selection. They've got a nice tap selection, too. It's all 4% beers. And we're getting some new ones. It's the session trend is really growing. So
that's going to help you.
It helps tremendously. We've got
maybe Utah
Ballast Point Even Keel just came into the market.
Oh, yeah. Easy Jack?
No, not yet. I think that's 4-4 from what I saw. So that's not.
They should just lie about it.
I think so.
4. Maybe Utah. Maybe this is a Utah conspiracy. This session trend.
Yeah.
Utah's like, I got an idea. What if we convince everybody that low alcohol IPAs are where it's at?
Hey guys, you know what's awesome?
Yeah.
Not that much alcohol.
Yeah. We'll be the next Portland.
I love it.
Yeah.
Jake,
you moved to Utah, man.
I would.
That could be your place. That's your jam.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
It's working so far, I guess.
What's this beer in my glass? A coconut porter?
Yeah, it's a coconut porter. Yeah, it's a porter recipe I made actually listening to someone up from Seattle that you guys had on many years ago. And So I based it on that, and this time I just thought I'd throw some coconut into it, and I think it turned out pretty nice.
This is a nice beer.
You talking about Reuben's Brews?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yep.
it was Reuben's Brews. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically what he kind of talked about was in his porter. I'm like, all right.
That was one of our nominees for Beer of the Year that year, the Robust Porter.
Yeah.
Fabulous beer.
Yeah. One of the few beers I've made multiple times, and it's turned out pretty good, and this time I just threw some coconut in.
Tastes like fresh, raw coconut.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I wanted a lot of coconut, not just like, is there some coconut in here? No,
Yeah.
I wanted, this is coconut.
It's really good. You're a good brewer. Yeah.
Let's open up some of that Pro Brew.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Scott, you're a good brewer. You got any Pro Brew?
Yes. But I already finished mine. I'm done with it.
Well, you guys might get a kick out of this other homebrew we have here. It's a gin barrel IPA that we did as a club.
Okay.
So JP just slid me a note saying, please crack that open. So, yeah, let's do that one.
He likes gin.
If you like gin, you'll dig this.
What if I hate gin?
Then you won't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a small pour, Moskowitz.
It's mostly gin, a little IPA, but it's fairly well balanced. But
I'm going to need my glass.
It's heavy gin.
Try not to chug. I might actually drive home tonight.
What?
Underberg,
What?
Cellarmaker. Jesus.
I thought after that long break we had...
That coconut porter was great.
It was good, yeah.
Just because it's
Very
par for the course, I'd also like to have some of that.
Wait, you're my ride home if I don't drive home
I don't have a
tonight.
car. Sam's coming to pick me up.
Oh, then Sam's my ride home.
Sucks for you.
I guess we're all drinking tonight. Fuck it. Okay, yeah, I smell... Actually, the gin smells really nice.
Yeah, it's a fairly new distillery, Salt Lake Distillery.
Okay.
And yeah, we just got a couple of their barrels, and we're going to be sticking a farmhouse into the other barrel.
Okay.
In the next week or two.
How long you been in Utah?
Like 25 years.
Why-
I took. My dad moved us there
Okay.
with his job, like when I was a kid. So I've been there.
Got it.
Really? Could have gone as far as California. You'd been a great
Yeah,
kid.
he could have been in California. It was an option,
He'd be so
and
cool.
he chose Utah instead.
He got a flat tire in Utah, so that was where we stopped.
That's pretty much how it worked out. So I moved to Africa for a couple of years, but then I came back and met my wife and got stuck there. So
Okay.
That's
Got
a good
it.
reason.
Yeah, that is a good reason. Your wife Ashley's here hanging out in the studio with us also.
Very patient.
Yeah, what are you guys doing here? Are you out on vacation? Or?
Yeah, we come here like once a year. We like to stay up in the Sonoma area, and
okay.
Yeah, so we're actually here for like a 10th anniversary kind of special thing. We usually bring the kids, but we left them back this time.
Oh, good call.
All 9 of them at home with the
All
babysitter?
12 actually.
12.
They're watching each other, thank God.
That's why you have 12.
That's right.
They'll make a move.
Right. So, are there a lot of homebrew clubs in Utah now?
I think 4 that I'm really aware of. There's us. There's ZZ Hops, and they've been around quite a while, but they're pretty small, a little exclusive. Really nice guys. They just like to keep themselves small. There's the O-Town Hopheads. They're up in Ogden.
Okay.
And they're pretty small. And then we've got one of the kind of cool all-female clubs in the country, the Hop Bombshells.
Oh, yeah. I know of them.
Yeah.
In fact, they did a presentation for the Radagast Award.
Okay.
I think it was them at the Homebrewers Conference, which is just a club that does good things for for the community.
Yeah, they're really cool. And actually, I think one of the manager of the Beer Nut, Jamie, she's like kind of their president. She kind of got that started, and they roll through the Beer Nut. And
excellent.
Yeah, they're a cool group.
Which one of the clubs complains about the Brewing Network as a club? All of them?
All of them. Repeatedly, yeah.
Utah hates the Brewing Network. That's great. How long have you been homebrewing?
I got started about 7 years ago. Took a 2-year break or so when my little girl was born. Just kind of busy. But I really got back into it about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And going pretty strong ever since.
So Ashley was like, stop brewing. You got to take care of the kid finally and stop being such a douchebag.
Yeah, pretty much. Just knock it off. Or make beers that I want to drink. So.
That's a better, Actually, your brewing's kind of shitty lately. Why don't you take a little break? Read some more books, and then we'll talk about you brewing again.
We'll see how we do.
Yeah, we'll see how you do. You can brew me a test batch in 6 months, and I'll be the judge of this.
That's right.
Yeah, raise a barn in the meantime. The whole thing.
They're not Amish.
Yeah, come on.
What's the difference?
Yeah, what do the Mormons do? See, at least the Amish like build things.
The
They
difference
do
between the Amish and Mormons is fucking one has electricity. Right? Isn't that it? That's it, right?
More or less, yeah.
Right.
I think the Amish have fewer wives.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they just don't know how to live.
See, this part I agree with the Mormons, I think. Why just have one?
Why just have one?
I mean...
You don't even have one.
Yeah, but...
Because he can only have one. There's
right,
a big
because if I had one, that's it. It's
I would
over.
have been married 10 years ago if I could
If
have
you could have
multiple.
multi.
Yeah, especially in different places, and they all had their own income.
Never saw each other.
I believe that's called hoes in different area codes.
Well, see,
all
and
for
this
it.
is where the Mormons had it right.
This is why I shouldn't drink.
Very progressive that way.
And rappers.
They are progressive. See, we like to call them like not progressive, like they don't have electricity, but they're progressive.
Forward thinking. 50
One
years
day,
from now, everyone will have multiple wives.
Exactly. 20 years, whatever. For now, people will be like, well, shit. I hate to admit it, but the Mormons.
Those Mormons are right.
Right.
In certain areas.
Yeah. Why not call it multiple husbands? You could have multiple husbands too.
Sure. No, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Sam's enough.
Yes.
He's enough of a man for her.
Right.
Finally.
All right. Well, God, what do you think of the gin beer, JP? You don't like it?
I don't like
I'm still thinking about the multiple wives thing.
I don't like it because it's.
I don't like
think
that.
the botanicals in the gin clash with the hops, and it's this very harsh, lasting harshness.
Was it a hoppy beer too?
Yeah, we actually modeled it after La Cumbre's Elevation.
Okay,
which is a pretty dank beer. But yeah, I know it's pretty ginny. I know several brewers. In fact, one of our brewers is he works for Epic.
Yeah,
and he's one of the cellarmen. He's actually the head cellarman, and he actually blended it with like 2.5 gallons of some of their IPA.
Nice.
To cut it back, and he felt that was a lot
what I was
better.
saying, you
So.
could
Yeah, I mean,
if we were able to cut it back, I think we'd all be a lot happier.
Like a pale ale or something. I think it's the clash between the hops and the botanicals and the gin.
Yeah.
I think you pick one and go for it. It's a well designed beer.
Their
The
gin
body's
is
there.
actually really, really. He's got a lot of
Heavy botanical?
Yeah,
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dark brown with all the stuff he's got going
Oh,
on.
wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's,
Have you gotten feedback of people saying they like the interplay between those two things? Like, I'm wondering if it's a subjective thing. I agree with JP, but I'm wondering if people have said the opposite.
I haven't heard too much back yet. We only put this into kegs for all the brewers who were involved in it about 3 weeks ago. So
is this a full barrel club
we had
project?
a 60-gallon barrel. So
60 gallon,
we brewed 65 gallons, something like that, and then everyone kind of dropped it off, filled it up, and then came and collected their kegs like 6-8 weeks later.
But that gin flavor's there.
Yeah.
And it's prominent, and it's the first thing you taste, which I kind of like. I think a lot of like brown liquors in beers, you get the beer, and then you kind of get that brown liquor kind of muddled. But it's kind of, here's your warm-up to the beer.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that.
You think there'd be a better base beer even than a pale ale to do this? Because I'm thinking, like, if botanicals clash in an IPA, there's going to be less botanicals with a pale ale, but they'll still be there. So maybe something just like a blonde, or is there something better, an amber?
Maybe a wit beer. I don't know.
I think that's why they're going with the farmhouse. So they're hoping that the farmhouse ale, all that Belgian phenolic is really going to kind of...
would probably...
Yeah.
Nate's the Saison King. He would know.
Well, it seems like it might be a nice try.
Yeah.
Phenols and esters, blending with that fruit and spice.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I wish I could have gotten in on it, but they're going to leave it in there for a long time. This was 6 weeks. I think they're going to do closer to 5-6 months.
Which would make it even more intense, really.
Yeah.
Well, but the hops would drop out, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So you'd just you'd end up with more of the botanicals and
eventually
less of the hops.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, do you have criteria for who in the club gets to add beer to the barrel, or do you just let everybody?
They have to be a member.
Okay.
We're really open. So like every other month, we're like, anybody show up, we're going to do educational stuff. But then the other month, and so anyone who's like actually a paid member can get involved in it. But we try to rotate.
Because that could be a problem. Like if I'm in your club. And you all know me, and I show up with my beer, and I'm like, hey guys, I brought mine for the barrel.
Oh, the meeting is just ending.
No, hey guys, here I am. I'm here. I brought beer.
Everything's better with butter.
Like you would let me put my beer in. No. So there are rules.
A little bit, yes.
This is not Vietnam. There are rules.
Well, there's a lot of VC. You would never know.
Right.
When we did the this gin barrel one, we actually tried to do like 2 or 3 like big group brews. So we were brewing as a group like 20, 40 gallons in a day.
Okay.
But with the farmhouse that we're talking about, that ended up just because of the way things worked out, summer being busy. That was literally like, 15 different guys brewing 5 gallons or a couple brewing 10 or 15, that kind of thing.
Got it.
So, the Michael Peasley, he's our former president. He now is like our equipment barrel project, kind of officer. And now he'll be making sure they're all decent before they go in, I'm sure.
Good call. Because, it's a big project.
Yeah.
Just throw it in.
We've got a club member, Ed, who's kind of known for funking up beers pretty bad. So
does he know that he's that club member?
He's proud of it. He's like, if you want it funky, just have me put one of my beers in there. We'll be good.
See, I like that. As long as you're honest about what you are, it's the ones who are like, What are you talking about?
Like funk in a good way or a bad way?
Kind of in a bad way, but everyone likes it. I think that if he makes a clean beer, he thinks he fucked up.
I see.
Yeah, it's kind of how it works.
Okay. So everything just sits like in his basement open.
Yeah. Which is why his club will never win Club of the Year.
Right. He's the most vocal opponent.
You guys are brewing clean beers. You suck.
It sucks.
You even know what you're doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming and talking Utah beer with us. I know you brought some more, so we're going to take a break, and then you want to hang out with us while we got to do some Drunk of the Week calls and some things like that, and maybe we can drink some more Utah beer.
Yeah. Like I said, Brian Coleman, he's got a new brewer, and he's got I think he's got the best IPA in the state now, so it's phenomenal. His American Farmhouse is killer, too.
Okay. Well, now that my brother just moved to Utah, this is good for me. I need to know, like, the ins and outs. You got to tell me where to go.
I can help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to visit if there's no beer. I mean, that's sort of just a given.
Right.
You know, like he was living in Lake Havasu before, so I don't visit.
There's no beer in Lake Havasu?
Well, there is, but, you know.
Like BLs and stuff. Yeah. It's Lake Havasu.
I mean, I can get a 30-pack fucking cheap. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
But
sometimes that's all you need.
30-pack of Big Mouth, dude.
That's all you need.
Hey, it's hot out. It spirals. It has a spiral Big Mouth. It goes down your throat faster.
Yeah.
Every gimmick in the world for $9.
Except quality. That's one gimmick that has eluded them.
Yes, the quality gimmick hasn't. Yeah, you think you guys are behind the quality gimmick? At least you caught up with that.
That's right. Well, it's overrated.
We see that quality. That's hard.
Yeah. All right, so here's what we'll do. We will take a pretty quick break here, and we'll come back, and we'll try some more beer from Utah, and we got some Drunk of the Week voicemails. Also, we're going to give away one of those iDip water testers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a call-in game. Get ready to phone in. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Attention home brewers, if you like making labels for your handcrafted awesomeness and wished more people could see how great you are, then check this out. GrogTag, the makers of custom reusable labels, and craftbeerandbrewing.com are hosting the first ever National Homebrew Label Awards. The top 10 labels will be featured at the 2015 National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego to more than 5,000 attendees, and more than $2,500 in prizes will be awarded. If you've created a label at any time in the past year, you're eligible to enter. GrogTag and Craft Beer and Brewing have teamed up with great sponsors like More Beer and the Brewing Network to make this competition a great one to enter. Submit your entries between March 1st and June 1st for your chance at fortune and glory at homebrewlabelawards.com. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. Submit your label entries today. Good luck, and we'll see you in San Diego. Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Hey, welcome back to the program.
Didn't we already play this rejoin?
Yeah,
you really like it that much, huh?
Hey, who doesn't like a little Steel Panther? We missed them last time they were in town, Jip.
That's true.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
And,
it was like a week after our NHT return.
Oh, yeah. I think I just wasn't in town or something, and that's how it happened. So
Steel Panther, murder, arson, and Steel Panther.
Yeah. All right, so just a couple of things left to do. I got a Drunk of the Week call on right now. We could do that. Ghost from Milwaukee. Ghostface Killer.
Tony Starks.
What's up, Ghost?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing well. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm very drunk.
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm in Milwaukee. I'm moving next week, so I'm drinking all my beers I got at my cellar that I can't fit in the car.
That's the only good thing about moving. You have to drink all your beers that you've been cellaring.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. I know how much I can fit in the car, and I'm drinking all the beers I can't fit, so I'm pretty loaded. I've been drinking since about 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jesus. Where are you moving to?
I'm moving to Washington, D.C. area. I'm moving to Alexandria.
Okay. Job or what?
My fiance got a job as a lawyer for the DEA, so I got to go out there with her. And I got a good job, too, working for Hyatt.
Yeah?
The hotel company, so I got a good job, too. But she makes more money than me, so I'm following her.
Ghost sounds special. You know?
Oh, I'm way drunk.
How old are you, Ghost?
I'm 28, but I went through all the beers I couldn't fit in my beer cellar boxes, and I've been drinking a lot of homebrew.
His wife's like, listen, I brought you have 2.5 boxes, okay? That's all you get for your beer. Anything that doesn't fit in there, I don't care what you do with it, but it's not going in the goddamn moving truck.
Justin, I've got 5 boxes of 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 boxes of 22 to 750-ounce beer bottles, and everything else I'm drinking.
I'm just drinking. Are you moving in like 12 hours? You got to get it all done tonight?
No, I move so Thursday this week.
So
the movers show up and they move all my shit. And then Friday, I hit the road with the fiance, and we drive out.
Hopefully she's
and
driving.
That's when all my shit's moving.
All right, so you got from now to Thursday, huh, buddy?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm wishing you luck, Ghost.
Oh, I need luck. I need luck, man. I've got a lot of beer to drink. I've gone through majority of it already.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of homebrew that is not good, but drinkable. I'm working my way through.
And by the way, it's not good. You know you can dump some of it out, dude. You don't have to drink it all.
No, man. I got to drink it. If I brewed it, I got to drink it. That's shitty if I pour it out.
I like your commitment. All right,
I pour it out.
You're in the running for Drunk of the Week, man.
I hope I am. Because you know what? I don't like these douchebags who call in and record their Drunk of the Week things. That's bullshit.
Got to do it live.
You got to actually be legit and call in when it's real Drunk of the Week.
So
I'm a real Drunk of the Week.
It's like a Muppet.
Fuck those guys. That's bullshit.
He's like Ghost Muppet. All right, thank you, Ghost. You are in the running for Drunk of the Week.
Oh, well, now I don't want to play.
Oh, what happened to you? Did I kill you? Oh, there you are.
Now I don't want to play voicemails.
Did he go through puberty on the phone?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I sound like a Muppet. Like Sean Paxton. You ever notice how Paxton sometimes sounds like a Muppet?
What I'm struggling with is...
No, not his phrasing, but yeah, listen to him next time. Sometimes he sounds like a Muppet, too. In a good way. Like he's like a really big Muppet.
He's like a 7-foot tall Muppet.
Like a 7, yeah.
He's like Sweetums from the Muppet, the big dude with the fucking, you know?
No, it's more the guy in the trash can.
Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch. Yeah.
Big hands telling you everything's fun.
All right, so here's what we get. Do we get some more of this Utah beer in front of us?
Oh, yeah.
Let's crack open some of that.
It doesn't magically show up.
I got to know.
IPA or double IPA?
Awesome.
There's the IPA.
I don't know. Why don't you let JP decide?
Well, I'll take a water, please.
I do have a nice golden ale in there.
Let's do that one. Why did you pick the two shitty beers?
Golden ale.
Who's this from, Brian?
Two Row. He's Brian Coleman, one of our...
Two bros?
Two Row.
Oh,
Two Bros Brewing.
Two Row Brewing.
Yeah.
Two Row Brewing.
Not related.
Not related.
Just bring one bottle.
That's their tagline.
No, I brought
Bros,
two
not related.
Let's get that shit rolling around here, man. We can drink a lot of this.
All right.
That's nice beer.
Tasty said that as he sniffed it. Must have really liked the aromatics.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's my favorite style.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
This is an IPA. 7% IPA.
It's an
IPA?
It's a Utah IPA.
Yeah.
It's a Utah IPA.
Really?
but,
7%? Wow. You wouldn't say it if
I
you
think
didn't
it's
mean it.
6.5. 7. It is 7, yeah.
LDS IPA.
Right. All
Right
right.
up there with Polygamy Porter.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give away one of these iDip water testers.
Yes.
What's it, the iDip Sense Master?
SenseSafe.
Thank you. The Sense
You're
Safe.
welcome.
Okay, what do I have to do?
Should be SenseMaster.
They can have that name. I'm just giving it to them. Maybe that'll be the upgraded version
That
later on.
IPA has a lot of hop coming through at the end.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's nice.
That's good.
What's the value of this kit? Do we know? It's pretty.
I think it's like $180.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Or maybe even $200. It's pretty thorough.
So should we give it away to like caller number 600? Bevo, what do you think?
How about caller number 7?
All right, caller number 7, 888-401-BEER. Call in right now, 888-401-BEER. Caller number 7 is going to win a free iDip SenseSafe test kit.
iDip test kit from SenseSafe.
There you go.
You can go to sensesafe.com.
Nate loves it, and I think what we're going to do is
badass.
We're going to pass Nate's around the BN like a cheap date, and I'll get to use it a little bit because it comes with a lot of test strips, and so you can test a whole bunch of stuff. So I know that JP wants to use it. I think Tasty should check it out. Maybe we could use it on this Hop Grenade IPA we're working on, and test Jamil's water.
Yeah, absolutely,
too, right?
Sure.
Make it part of. We're gonna report on that whole thing as we do it, so maybe we can make it part of our reporting, Nate.
Absolutely.
All right. So call right now, 888-401-BEER. Bevo will hang up on you if you're not caller number 7, and then caller number 7 will win. Why don't we take some Drunk of the Week recorded phone calls, Moskowitz?
Hey, everybody, this is Spider Wrangler. I had a busy morning and afternoon presenting and defending my PhD, and now I'm at the bar drinking beer. I will be calling you back in a couple hours to share my drunkenness with you fine people.
So he took a page out of Tour's book and called in throughout the night as he got drunker and drunker.
I have to know what Spider Wrangler's PhD is.
I was wondering. He
What's
never
his
said.
thesis? Hopefully not something in public health.
Wrangling spiders.
No, but you have a better name for it, like subarachnoid kind of thing.
Right. Disparities in the subarachnoid.
Jesus.
I don't know. Population in the sub-Saharan. Whatever.
Lassoing subarachnoid tentacles or something or another. Yeah.
Tentacles.
All right, so that was call number one?
Yep.
Okay.
Here's a little later in the night.
Please tell
Hey,
me it's
this
just him
is
puking.
Spider Wrangler again. The bar told me that they won't give me any more beer, so I'm walking home now.
Been cut off.
Sounds depressed.
My wife misplaced her phone, so she's like 2 blocks behind me. But she needs to catch the fuck up because I'm headed home where hopefully there's beer in the fridge. But I'm still drinking.
I love the next visual. The visual of him like 2 blocks ahead, like a golden retriever. He sprinted up ahead of his wife to make the call.
The next phone call will be, so they won't let me drink at home. The fridge won't open. I can't figure out how to open it.
Can't get in.
Can't get in. My wife's still 2 blocks behind me looking for her phone.
It's locked. He did a very
I'm not helping her.
A very short one as the nightcap.
I'm currently standing in the shower. I'm having a shower beer. I should probably put my phone down before I drop it in the water.
That was it. So he's at the bar, and then he's leaving the bar, and then he is in the shower with a beer.
Well, he was dedicated. All right. Anything else?
There were a couple more, but I'm not going to play them because they kind of sucked. One of them, I appreciated the sentiment. A guy called in like with his girlfriend right next to him, and it was like the two of them. I mean, I can play a little bit of it, but nothing really happened. I kept waiting for something to happen, and nothing did. So
let me hear it.
It's not like Spider Wrangler's call.
And we just found the phone.
What's going on right now?
He's drunk on bourbon.
Well, I'm drunk on beer, and then I started bourbon, so I'm just going out and
Good night.
having a good night. I don't know where.
So just having a conversation.
Yeah, that's it. That was the whole call.
I'm watching the Big Brother live feeds right now.
And I know,
Amazing.
I mean, nothing happened in Spider Wranglers, but something happened in Spiders compared to this one.
Right.
Which is he had a shower beer.
At least, yeah, there was some drama.
Right.
You know, he got thrown out of a bar.
He didn't get thrown out, did he? Just left
he got
on
cut
his
off.
own accord.
He got cut
said
off,
can't,
so that's
they
thrown
won't
out.
serve him anymore.
So he got cut off.
No, I didn't hear
His
that.
wife lost his phone, and then he lost his wife, and then
And then he had a shower beer.
He had a
Time to
shower.
shower.
So there's a storyline. That's a storyline.
I wish I was in the room with this guy and this girl. They sound like they're having a grand old time. But
Yeah, in the old days,
nothing
when it
happened.
was conversational, we'd say, put your wife on.
Right.
Next
So
thing
he
you
was
know, she's
trying
sending us
that.
pictures of her tits.
Right, exactly.
Right. And those were the old days.
Those were the old
I'm
days.
glad we straightened up now.
In the old days, you mean...
Aren't you, Tasty?
I'm not so glad.
Yeah. You're not sure what you've signed up for
Yeah,
anymore.
really.
Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
All right, so just two in the running then?
Yeah,
All
Ghosts
right.
and Spider Ring. I don't know. The night is young. You can still call, I guess, right?
Yeah, no. So Ghostface Killa, who's having a moving sale of his own homebrew.
Ghostface Mover.
Yeah, Ghostface Mover is processing all his homebrew through his
Moving
liver
his
before he
weight.
moves it.
We got a sale on Gushers at like 50 cents a piece.
Yeah. And then we had a Spider Wrangler.
DMS over here. Got your DMS.
So it's Ghost, right? He's our drunk of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. Hey, Ghost, put your girlfriend on the phone. Is he
Yeah.
still there?
Oh, no.
Oh, damn.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I let that go a while ago. Do we have our caller number 7?
We have caller number 7.
Is it Brian from Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, you just won yourself an eye dip.
Woo! Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, you have any trouble with your water there in Indiana?
Never use it.
Well, I've been working on kind of tweaking it, adding some gypsum and calcium chloride and the works and all that stuff. So
Okay.
not the chemical works. I'm not trying to poison anyone, but
Right. Well, this should make it a no-brainer for you and give you a hand doing just that. So congratulations. I'm going to keep you on the line, and Bevo will take down your information. We're going to send you your very own eye dip kit, man.
that's super awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for calling in. All right, Beef, do that for us, if you will. And congratulations. That's a pretty cool prize.
Does anybody else want to sing the When I Dip You Dip We Dip song when you hear that name?
Oh, God.
I don't know it. You know?
I do now.
How does it go, Beef?
When my hands up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Let Scott sing it.
So
way better.
the answer to your question is yes, Scott does every time.
Wouldn't you know it?
Here's the I dip. All right. And then also we need to do our Twitter game winner.
Yes.
What a clever game we had tonight. Come up with our transsexual names for us, if you will.
Give me half a second to cull some of these.
Yeah. Like now, or maybe...
Yeah.
I can go through it. It's fine. It's all right.
Any more Utah beer here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More 4%ers?
Pass it along.
Ooh. Brought a lot of beer, huh?
Random IPA.
Random sounds perfect.
More Cellarmaker beer, too.
There's a problem with the top on this.
Oh, my God. Judy. Judy, please don't make me do it.
Can't say no to a legend.
Scott, do me a favor. Give Judy your seat right there, just for a moment. Judy, sit down. Yeah, you have to sit down with me, please. Especially if you're going to make me drink this terrible thing, Judy. What are you doing? So Judy Ashworth, is here. I'm honored to have her in my bar. This is amazing. Judy Ashworth she's the craft beer grandmother here in the Bay Area.
I feel like a grandma.
We're all here doing this what we're doing because of Judy, and so I'm really so honored to see you here drinking with us.
Well, it's an honor to be here because you are totally carrying on what I started so long ago.
Thank you. I hope we do you proud, and you paved the way. So listen, we have it easy now because people, they just come in droves for craft beer, right? You had to fight against the wind and uphill, and
well, I just had to teach everybody how to drink it and how to taste it.
Who was your first craft beer that you put on tap? You remember?
It was very interesting. In 1983, a man named Bob Hufford came into my pub. He's a home brewer, and he's won gold medals at JBF and everything.
Okay.
Not at that point, but
yeah.
Anyway, he said, would you like to taste a home brew that I brew? And I went, yeah, I love it. So the next time he came in, he brought me in a home brew, and it was a pale ale that he had brewed.
Yeah.
And I tasted it, and I went, oh, my God, this beer is so amazing. This is what beer is supposed to taste like?
Right.
And I said,
some actual flavor.
And I said, is there some way I can get beer like this somewhere? I want to share this with all of my customers. And he goes, well, there's this little brewery in Chico that's just starting up. They're trying to start up and make a brewery. Why don't we go to Chico and see if we can get any of their beer? Mr. Ken Grossman.
Wow.
My first...
That was your first, tiny brewery in Chico.
Well, they were a tiny brewery. They were in a little tin shed.
Right.
We used to sit on grain sacks and taste beers.
That's so cool. So when you brought Sierra Nevada Pale Ale to your bar, what did your patrons think at the time?
I had to teach them about it.
Okay.
Hey, you had to explain everything. They were all drinking. You have to understand, they had never tasted anything like that.
Sure.
So what I would do is before they ever tasted it, I would totally explain what they were going to taste.
Okay.
I had the all the grains and everything on the bar, and I made them chew. Would take some crystal, and some pale, and make them chew it a little bit before they tasted it, and smell the hops before they did it, and then they make them taste it. And I would explain to them all about how the little sweetness would be in the front, and then they would get in the more of a little complexities in the middle, and then you get this big bitter hop finish.
And then they weren't so shocked when they tasted it. Okay.
Totally had to explain that to. I explained everything from a Harp Lager to a Guinness.
Okay. Wow. Oh, I love this.
But then you give them an Underberg.
And then you give them an Underberg. Judy, I'm only doing this because you brought it in.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I can't believe
if these Cellarmaker bozos brought it in again, it looks like my staff's going to do it with us too.
Yeah, you got one for Bevo?
No,
Someone get one for Bevo.
I really can't do another one.
All right, hang on. Let me get my bucket ready
again.
Okay,
now my pub when we did this, I always had a little Guinness, a little shot of Guinness back
to chase it.
Yes,
I'm going to chase it this time with some Firestone Easy Jack. So
that's not. I don't know if that's a chase.
Right. All right.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Judy. All right, we're doing this, I guess.
Oh, heavens.
Put the arms up. You got to do the arms, too. There you go. Yeah, and there you go. Wow. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Down.
Did you finish it out there, boys? Woo! Oh, Eric's doing his. Kevin did his. Oh, I'm going to throw up.
I did jazz hands while I did mine. Is that a thing, or is that still the dolphin?
Jazz finger.
Just relax here.
I wish you were going to throw
Actually,
up.
why do I... Oh, my gosh. What am I drinking, Judy?
This is much better. This will just calm it down.
It's an
smooth
Underberg
it out.
beer.
Oh, yeah, that's a better chaser. Wow.
Of course, I know
That
what
does
I'm
smooth it
talking
out. You do know. You're a professional. You know exactly what you're talking about.
It smells
Wow.
like my early 20s in here.
It really does. Judy Ashworth, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
bringing us
guys.
some
Thank you,
Underberg. Thanks for coming in. Wow. 2 in a night, Cellarmaker. Get out of here.
You look rough, bro.
I hope Google comes and
Send
gentrifies
those guys
your area
home.
and raises your rent.
Wow.
So is Schumann still coming for his birthday? Because we're partying tonight, I think, right?
What?
Shu Light's coming for his birthday.
It's like Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
He is?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not driving you home,
I did
bro.
not know this.
It's a party. Hey, well, you said it yourself. Monday is the new Friday.
I guess so. Great. Got to work tomorrow. All right. So, want to figure out our names real quick?
Yep.
Transgender names.
Transgender names. So I think they kind of go in the same order here of Justin, JP, Bev, Scott, Warren, Nate, and Tasty. So Christian Smith says Justin would be Amber, JP would be Fanny for some reason, Beverly would be called Mark, Scott would be called Cinnamon.
Yes, he would.
Warren would be called Josephine, Nate would just be Nate, and Tasty would be called Dusty.
Dusty.
Huh.
Dusty the chick?
The only one I like on that is Cinnamon.
Mark is a terrible name. I mean, unless there's a Mark in the studio audience.
Yeah, you're not a Mark.
But
no.
I think it's a pretty like if you went from Beverly, which is kind of ornate woman's name, and you go to Mark.
Bill.
Like Bruce to Caitlin. It's the reversal.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not buying your logic, but...
That's all right. You don't have to. It's not for sale. It's free.
Okay.
I would think of a really pretty man, and then I would adopt his name.
Fabio?
Justin?
Sure. I'm sure I can think of an attractive Justin.
So
what about... Ouch.
Justin Thoreau.
Yeah. All right.
So what do we think about Christians? Yay or nay?
Nay.
Okay, great. Dave Malone says, you all keep your names because, let's face it, is anybody going to notice the difference?
Nay.
Okay.
Rude.
Yeah. Lulu Gumshoe says JP would be called Yaya, which is Greek for grandma, by the way. Bevo would be called Guy. Scott.
Hey, Guy.
Scott would be called Boopy.
I knew a Boopy once.
My neighbor's cat. Name,
Okay.
by the way.
Yeah.
Warren would just be called Beardy. Well, come on.
Yeah.
Nate would be Demonica.
That's good.
Tasty would be the classic Pat.
Yeah.
And Justin would be Crazy Bitch.
Okay.
Those are good.
This one's in the running. What's
I
the...
love her.
Yeah.
That's Lulu Gumshoe.
Good one.
Okay.
Keith Brown says Justin would just be some trashy stripper name. JP would be called BJ. I don't know.
Why?
Yeah. Beeve would be called Ballsy.
Ballsy.
Scott would be called Myrtle. Nate would be Natalie. And then Tasty would be Big Tits McGee.
That's not very subtle, is it, Tasty?
Who's got the big tits? Me?
Yeah.
You do.
Apparently. Hey,
Well,
now
when
you do.
When you change. I mean, not now, but when you...
Well, I mean, let's, you know.
The new now.
All right, I'll put that person in.
Okay. Keith Brown.
Keith Brown. All right.
Keith
Do we all go in for surgery on the same day? Like, do you take
Yeah.
my
Oh, of
parts and
course.
add them into...
Well, yeah,
like,
we
will
get like
Tasty become Big Tits
It's like
because
an
I
8-for-1
Wow, Bevo, I like where your head is at.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. Who gets your vag?
Dibs.
You just made it creepy.
glad you said
I need
that.
to have a word with HR.
Okay, call yourself.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Hello, Bevo. Yes, Bevo.
Keith Allen says, let's see, Justin would be Trixie. Again, I would be called BJ. This is a theme. Beverly would be called Bo.
Bo.
Scott would be called...
Yes, she is a Bo.
She's a Bo.
Yeah.
Scott would be called Steph the Jew.
Steph?
Stephen, like Stephanie, Steph?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
PH or F?
PH. Apparently Steph the Jew... Oh, okay. And then Warren would be called the Bearded Clam.
Oh, that's so
Of
gross.
course.
Nate would be called Natalie. And Tasty will always be Tasty no matter which gender he is.
All right, I'm taking
It's
out
okay to be gay on the
Keith
inside.
Brown, and I'm adding in whoever that was.
Keith Allen.
Whatever.
Okay.
Who was that one?
That was Keith Allen.
Oh, the other one was Keith Brown,
Yes, sir.
and this one was Keith Allen.
Yes, sir.
All right, Keith Allen is now in the running with Lulu.
Our very own Terrence/Conrad Green says Justin would be Sparkles, JP would be BJ. Fucking hell, man.
Wow.
That's good.
I love it. I mean, they're really passionate.
Can you imagine
They
a
know.
girl called BJ?
Yeah.
There's no way they would make it through middle school.
My dream come true.
Moscow would be called Ida.
I think they have lots of friends.
Ida.
That's a
very
he is like an
Jewish
Ida.
woman.
Yeah. Or an Ada. Close.
Warren would be called Lower Half Beardy. I don't understand that. Tasty would be called Even Tastier, and Bevo would be called Sam.
Okay, Even Tastier is
like
good.
that.
But the rest, not so good.
Nobody
So-
called you Beard Chin yet. It's all right, JP.
It's true. Well, Bevo would be called Sam. I think it's pretty good. But other than that, yeah, you're right.
All right.
AC says, I would name you after the Kardashians in order. Chris, Kim, because JP sucks. So you would be called Chris. I would be called Kim because I suck apparently the most.
Which is the hot one?
Rob, Courtney, Kendall, Kyle, Chloe.
I don't like this
I don't
one.
like that one either. It's pretty stupid.
You like Courtney.
No.
No, you like Chloe.
Chloe. No.
No. I think I like Kim.
No,
Kendall.
you like the one who's always
Kendall's the hot one.
Kendall's the hot one.
Yeah.
That's
bang
the
her
one.
dude before he left her. The one who was always talking about sex. We had this conversation before.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
And I admitted it?
Yeah, Lamar before he got
Oh,
cracked out.
no, I do. She's all right, but no, I think I like the other one who's with Kanji.
That's Kim.
The other
Kim.
stupidest person on earth?
Kim,
Yeah.
no.
I don't.
Have
don't.
you seen the pre-surgery photos of Kim?
Who cares?
Oh, well.
Post-surgery is all that matters.
Okay.
It's the present. Live in the moment,
Considering
Moskowitz.
the game that we're having, it actually really is.
So I was watching that I Am Caitlin show or whatever, and the first episode, I wasn't like really watching it, but it was on. The first episode, Caitlyn Jenner is in the kitchen with her mom. Then Kim and Kanye come in.
Yeah.
And so it's, Kim's grandma. And so Caitlyn had just had a conversation with her mom about like how she's transgender now and all this kind of shit.
Okay.
And then Kim and Kanye walk in, and I can't help but think, this lady's losing her mind. Like, her mind's going to explode. Like,
Right.
Her son is now a chick. Her granddaughter's dating a black guy, and she's like 89 years old. And I'm like, generationally, she can't handle what's happening right now in the world.
She's like, just put me back in a Buick. I don't know what to do here.
I'm
Just
taking my Buick to Utah.
I just can't handle it. She's looking like the crazy. Anyway, she looks like she's about to lose control.
Kendall's the hot one.
Brendan Abbott says Justin would be called Justina. I would be called Jezebel with two Z's. Then it's
No, this one's done.
Okay, great. Well, I will say Brendan Abbott, the last one, Tasty's was pretty good. He says Tasty would just be called Tasty because it's a drag name, and he already has the cans.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
He's from Sydney. He's in town this week. Brendan.
My stomach isn't feeling so good, guys. I'm feeling really. It's like grumbling in there.
It's supposed to settle you out.
It doesn't really settle me out, though.
helping.
It does. Yeah, it's like.
Is the camera on him? Get the camera on him.
Oh, the camera's on him.
Oh, good.
I could lose at any moment.
Maybe proper digestion is just finally happening
getting
for you.
over-digested.
Is that what this feels like? Digestion?
Maybe.
Yes, you've been doing it wrong the whole time.
I usually just put things in and they come out like a brick on the other side. Are things supposed to get broken down? Because maybe that's what's happening.
It's not a trash compactor.
I'm just a trash. I compress them, I push them out.
Yeah,
Like brick cylinders.
It's a nutritious bar.
My body's very efficient that way.
Like see those holes in bricks?
Pete DeDink says names would be in order: Janet, Jessica, Ben, Martha, B, Nancy, and Emma. I think, Bev, you're the Emma.
All right. If you don't have anything else great, I think we're good.
Blobber gave us all Disney names, which is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to delete that.
As long as I get to be sleepy, I'm cool.
Scott Foster says Justin would be Floshonda.
Okay.
Nate would be Saison. JP and Warren,
That's true.
We would be twins called Jenna and Talia.
Yeah.
Tasty would be Betty Crocker, and Scott would be Tootsie, and Bevo would be Harry Johnson.
I'll put that person in. Who's that?
Scott Foster.
That's rude.
All right.
Two more. Zachary Clark, whose Twitter name is Zach the Bomb. Okay. Would be Justina. I would be JD.
You're already disqualified with Justina. It's a dumb one. Come on. Too obvious.
You got teased like that as a kid. That was a tease.
No, it's just too obvious. It's like.
No, I agree. But
it's like Natalie. I don't like that one either. For Nathan, it's too obvious.
But it's realistic.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah.
Why? I would just go like if I really felt like a different person, I would add an A at the end of my name, so that's how different I feel.
Used to know.
I think you'd be more creative. You'd be like Juanita or something.
There's only one way to find out.
Juanita
starts with a J.
Yes, I would be a Mexican cleaning lady. That's what I'm changing to.
Wow. Rude. Here we go. Last but not least.
Different junk, new name.
Yeah. Either way, you're cleaning out. Chris Lewis says Justin would be called Daniela.
Too soon.
That fucked up.
JP would be called Mrs. Lothamer II.
Oh,
man, these guys going for the throat.
Wow.
Beverly would be called Winchester.
I
don't know why that's funny, but it is.
No.
Scott would be called Scott, and then he writes, "Come on." I don't know.
Oh, you're doing so good.
Warren would be called Single. Nate would be called Sarah. And
good one.
Yeah.
Tasty would be something called Drippy.
All right, what's this person's name?
Chris Lewis.
Wow, Chris just made it tough.
Chris is good.
So there we go. We should have 4 in the running. Marley, which is Lulu, Keith Allen, Scott Foster, and Chris Lewis.
Yeah, that's right. So you all remember and want to vote? All right, we're doing it by show of hands.
You want to run through it again or no?
No.
It's pretty long, I know.
You know. So, gosh, Chris Lewis coming in at the end there with a good one.
I do like this.
Give me Lulu's again, will you?
Lulu says JP would be Yaya. Bevo would be Guy. Hey, Guy. I'm not your guy, buddy.
Not your buddy, friend.
I'm not your friend, Guy.
Yeah.
Scott would be called Boopy.
Yeah.
Warren is Beardy. Nate is Demonica. Tasty is Pat, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
That's good. And Justin is Crazy Bitch.
That's really good.
Pretty good.
Give me Chris Lewis again.
Chris Lewis. Justin, Daniela. JP, Mrs. Lothamer II.
That was the clincher.
Beverly, Winchester. Scott is Scott. Warren is Single. Nate is Sarah. And Tasty is Drippy.
All right.
That's so good.
All right, I'm ready to vote.
And then Scott Foster did have Warren and I as twins called Jenna and Talia, which I think is pretty good.
That's very good.
And Bevo is Harry Johnson. So it's tough. It's not an easy one.
Why is that so funny, Harry Johnson?
Maybe
I don't know.
This is why the show started a half hour early.
Is this
isn't
like
it?
beaver kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Tasty just got it.
I didn't get it either. I'm glad Tasty's walking me through it, actually.
Wait, what was it? I was on the phone.
See,
I didn't get it.
Well,
you are in trouble. Tasty's walking you through a joke from 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, seriously.
At this point in the show, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Zwei Underbergs.
Harry Johnson.
More Underberg.
So there you go. Maybe they all win. I don't know.
Raise your hand if it's Lulu Gumshoe.
I like
all right. Yeah. Got to vote there, Lulu. Raise your hand if it's Keith Allen. Raise your hand if it's Scott Foster. Ooh, got 3 votes there. Raise your hand if it's Chris Lewis.
Yes, I like Chris Lewis.
That's 5 votes right there for Chris Lewis. That's our Twitter winner today.
There you go.
And first of all, send Bevo an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com, to get your information over there. Send her your shirt size as well, because we will send you a Brewing Network shirt for winning the Twitter game. Plus, you're entered in to win a chance to go to the Labruski cruise with us.
Sounds pretty cool.
A chance for 2 people, actually. So it's going to be a good time. All right, that was our show for today. Next week, we're talking about brewery sustainability. I think that...
Are you going to do that thing Beardy did and turn white before you puke? Give us a little warning.
I could have.
I hope not.
Brewery sustainability next week with Ale Industries is going to be in the studio, and we got stuff happening next week. Stuff that doesn't involve Underberg.
It might.
That's what you think.
Connor and Tim. I liked them so much before this show.
You shouldn't be so sure it won't, because I think I heard that they do sell Underberg at Pig and the Pickle Ale Industries in the tap room.
Right.
Uh-oh. So,
make sure they bring some over.
Yeah. Now the word's out. Okay, are we done?
Yes.
You're done.
Good. Thanks to Cellarmaker for being in here. Really awesome, once again, to see Judy Ashworth in our place. I'm really honored to see that. That was a nice moment. And she's a nice lady, too.
Yes,
so, Tasty, always good to see you. I don't know what to say.
Well.
All right. Brian, thanks for coming in and teaching us about Utah beer scene.
Thanks for having me.
And homebrewing and bringing us beer. Happy 10th anniversary to you
right on.
and Ashley. And I don't know, I hope you don't have to see your kids for a few days.
At least 7.
Okay, excellent. All right, Jip, you ready to get us out of here?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad when you do that. This is my favorite part of the show, leaving. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Adios.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Local beer producers, Cellarmaker, came by the studio and talked about hops, taco hands, and probably some other stuff. You can find out more info at cellarmakerbrewing.com. And we also had Brian in to talk about the beer culture in Utah, which is pretty cool. If you just can't get enough of JP, check out his non-beer, Disneyland-centric podcast, Ears Up. Learn a thing or two over at earsuppodcast.com. And remember, that's ears with a Z. For some good beer insight at Homebrew Info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Pushy Jack. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP is rethinking this whole Xanax thing. Bevo just discovered the benefits of drinking at work. And your new Underberg fan was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brew Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his chair.